baie dankie. Dit het al amper tyd geword vir my om te groet. Baie dankie dat jy saam met my gekuier het. Dankie dat jy ingeskakel het. Dankie dat ek in jou huis kon kuier en dankie dat jy in my huis gekuier het.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's Chris here with Indaba Africa. Folks around the world, in Canada, the US, New Zealand, Australia, take your pick. Looks like that video is still playing and I told stop. Sorry about that. All right, okay. All right, so welcome in. Dumela Botswana. Hey, Hoya Dago, Hoya Nant in South Africa. Sawubona. Actually, I can't see you all, but that is the greeting. So welcome, folks. Happy to have everybody here tonight. Quite a bit to talk about here, even some things that I was unaware of because I was out running around earlier. And so I did not realize that some things have been going on that escaped my attention, I should say. So anyway, so we'll get to some of that. Lots and lots of news to talk about here. But welcome in once again to Indaba Africa. Thank you so much for folks who've tuned in. First off, before I get any further in this, let me just get the chat up where I can actually see it. There we go. I've got the chat up. So I can see it now because Streamlabs doesn't work as well for me as I'd like. All right, so I would like to recognize a few folks. So where's it at? Where's the... Oh, now it's not playing nice here. That's not the one I want. I've lost something here. I lost... Oh, there it is. There we go. All right, so you may be seeing on your screen up there a new member, Ronaldo Hos. Wow, look at that. So speaking of members, let me recognize the members who've signed up since we were last on the air yesterday broadcasting. And now we're up to 37 members on the site. Thank you so much for those who are able to sign up and become members. Very much appreciated. Again, something you all asked for, so I decided to go ahead and do it. But let me go ahead and get to that subscriber goal. Get that back up there so people can see it. So there you go. It should show up in a second. Yeah, we're at 37 members today, and our most recent member on Chris White Africa is Ronaldo Hos. So thank you, Ronaldo, so much for joining the site. Really appreciate that. And let me just give credit to others. So since yesterday, I think the last person we had signed up yesterday was Petrus Oosthuizen. So thank you so much for that, right after Freddie Borschutz. And then Afra B signed up. And then since then, Christo Hoya, Ben Luis, and Ronaldo Hos. So thank you all so much for signing up. 37 members of the site now. Really grateful for that, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you all joining the site. And also to the 3,700, and let's get the exact current number, 3,784 subscribers to the channel. Thank you all so much. By the way, for the 136 people who've taken the time to look at my 10-second Frappuccino video, thank you so much for that. That's not exactly hard-hitting news or events, but I thought I'd share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, so yikes. Where is Karen? Which Karen? All right, so let me get to a few different housekeeping items here to take care of. So first off, again, I've thanked the new members of the Chris White Africa channel and also to those new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're not familiar with it. I'll introduce myself here shortly for those who may be new. But a few announcements. Joe Emilio should be joining us here shortly in the channel. Joe has a legal issue that we're going to talk about. Joe is fighting back against cancel culture, and we're going to talk about that. So that should be exciting. All right, so beyond that, lots of news to talk about, appearances coming up. And let me just get over here very quickly and see who's in the chat. Say hello to a few folks here very quickly. Those who were here ahead of time. Lezan, thank you for being here. Marius Krukamp, Wesley, Drian Fonsail, Hendo, all, moderators and members, thank you so much, and subscribers. The Notorious G says, I'm getting out of Joburg, going to fetch my stuff. Okay, I don't know what's going on in Joburg, but maybe we'll find out. Eurita Oosthuizen, one of my favorite survivors of dealing with the cock that happens in South Africa. Hang in there, Eurita, good to see you there. Keith Alderson, what else? We got Skalk Walters here. Walters, thank you. Pinar van Wyk. Nigel Soden is again in not the right color. Or Nigel, you're on your mobile again. You're not getting credit for being a member. And Alistair, Nigel's going to have to use a laptop or a PC at some point, and then we'll know if there's a problem. Right. Joe Emilio says hello. Joe will be coming on. I'll get him on here in about 10 or 15 minutes after I go through some housekeeping and touch base on a few news items. Aiden Basadine. Gosh, I hope I didn't butcher that name. Is it Aden Basadine? Welcome. I don't recognize the name, so good to see you there. Robin McLaren. Any relationship to the uber wealthy McLarens that do racing cars? Pete Buttons. Okay, folks, welcome aboard. Audience is growing a little bit. So grateful for folks tuning in. Listen, I hope you had a chance to watch my video. If you haven't, please. Oh, we've got a new member coming up here in just a second. I'll mention. Okay, as soon as it comes up here, waiting for the Streamlabs to play nice because it's shown up in the chat but hasn't shown up on the screen yet. So come on, be nice. Long delay there. Show up anytime now. Anytime now. All right, well, I'll go ahead and talk about the article. So I did a video about the op-ed piece that appeared in City Press by Mondli Makanya from City Press, the editor-in-chief, in which he slandered AfriForum and the Institute for Race Relations with some just utter nonsense. Lots of accusations, called the AfriForum civil rights group the light version of the Ku Klux Klan. Shameful, shameful stuff. I believe that AfriForum has now filed a court case against them. I don't know for certain, but I believe that be the case. Okay, something is wrong. It's showing up new members, but it's not doing the zombie. Armand van Zoidam, welcome. You're a new member. Appreciate you joining. Thank you so much, Armand, for joining. And I don't know why the zombie's not there. I'll have to try to fix that. That's odd. That's really strange. New subscriber. Why is that not? It's not working here. That's odd. Very interesting. Okay, so I don't know why that's not coming up. So I'll just leave it up there. That's really strange. I missed the zombie. He was there. Maybe Streamlabs has done something. I want the zombie back. The zombie climbing the Mahalisburg is the whole point here. No, it's not the entire point. But ladies and gentlemen, so I did this video, and it's about a 16-minute video, so it's not a short one. And it's had, I wouldn't say great viewership so far, but pretty good viewership. But please spread the word. Hopefully you can share it with your friends. This is my position on what is taking place with this op-ed. So we've had almost 1,000. Let me see, 874, but that's behind. So let me get the current stats. We've had 1,000 views. Excellent. Okay, so people are tuning in for that. It's not quite my last video, which eclipsed 33,000 so far, but 1,000 views on that video expressing my disgust with the vile op-ed from the chief editor-in-chief of City Press. Anyway, folks, so there you have that. Let me get to a few of the news items. I'm not going to get into chat about them. Yeah, the zombie is taking the weekend off. It is Friday. I love how South Africans always say it's the weekend when it's Friday. To me, that's not the weekend. You work until 5 if you got a job. So the weekend, I guess, for South Africans, it's evening, and you're already on your weekend. So maybe that's why you're always saying that. But yeah, I guess it's the weekend. So let me get back to the news items I want to cover here very quickly. I'm going to mention several things, and then we're going to bring Joe on. And after Joe and I talk about his case and what's going on in his life, then we will get back to the news. So let me do that. Maybe I can fix the zombie while Joe's chatting away, but short of that, let me just go ahead and bring up some things that are really disturbing. So I'm going to take my video off just so you can guys watch this because it's coming from the other screen. So take myself off and get back to display capture. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So for those who don't know it, I'm going to that new subscriber thing is I got to make it smaller. So for those who don't know, there were at least 7 farm attacks that took place yesterday north of Pretoria or Tshwane. Near the Onderstepoort area. There were 7 different farm attacks. The Democratic Alliance reported this. Not much in the news that I found out about it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Not much in the news I found about it, but it involved attacks on in a 15-kilometer radius, attempted robbery, attempted murder. One 18-year-old boy was shot in the neck. I've heard no update on how he's doing, if he's all right. But in the midst of course, famously, the president of South Africa telling the United Nations that, of course, there are no farm murders in South Africa, we see that that's not the case. So that's one piece of news item. Another piece of news item back here in the United States, the Supreme Court in a 5-4 decision that defies comprehension and the Constitution has blocked President Trump's rescinding the illegal, unconstitutional executive order that Barack Hussein Obama signed as president, granting the right for illegal aliens to remain in the United States under the so-called Dreamers Act, delayed referral. Anyway, so this is kids who were born abroad but brought here by their illegal immigrant parents, and now they expect to be able to stay in the United States. I'm not being unsympathetic to the case, but simply blanket giving people the right to stay in the United States and telling the president of the United States, who has the responsibility for national security and border security for this country, that he has no say in this. And beyond that, what the Supreme Court did is they said that the president must justify a better reason. The president doesn't need to justify any reason. It's an executive order. It's not a law. And the Supreme Court is responsible for interpreting the Constitution. That's their role. Anyway, so that's the next thing I want to talk about there. Also, very quickly here, we'll get back to this. This is Reichenbach Hall. I don't do this, and I don't expect anybody in Africa to contribute to this, but I'm just pointing this out. This is what COVID-19 hysteria has done to the world, folks. This is what it's done. This is an amazing restaurant, a German-themed restaurant based in New York City in the heart of Manhattan called Reichenbach Hall. And the Reichenbach Hall is a family-owned restaurant where you can get a Bierstein, you can get a Schnitzel, you can get a Bratwurst, you can have a wonderful time, great German music. They have a sports bar there. It's a fantastic location. Their paintings are a little kitschish. They're not really true Bavarian, but that's okay. It's wonderful. I've been there many times. I've eaten there. I've had good bites in there because I'm always walking into Manhattan, not driving. And they are on the verge of bankruptcy because Mayor Wilhelm, has been hysterical in shutting down businesses, and this is one of them. So they're trying to use a GoFundMe to raise money. They've just started yesterday, and I hope that people in the United States, those who patronize in New York, will provide money to them. So there you go. There's 4 people who've donated already. Off to a start. It's not much of a start, but it is something. So I'm going to talk about that. Let me also talk about this. This is quite disgusting. I hadn't talked about this, although it happened 10 days ago. Tendai Biti, the vice president for Movement for Democratic Change, the opposition party in Zimbabwe, was arrested along with other parliamentarians by Zimbabwean police and detained for hours on no basis whatsoever. Former finance minister. Unbelievable what happens in Zimbabwe. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Malawi is on the verge of an election, and it's likely to see the octogenarian Peter Mutharika lose. He won last year in a disputed election, which the Supreme Court overturned because there were irregularities. Their election comes up on the 23rd of June. I'm going to talk about Malawi. And then, of course, I've been asked about this repeatedly, so now it's reloading. I don't know why. But the India-China clash in which 20 Indian troops were killed and apparently were beaten with pangas and with nightsticks wrapped with barbed wire. What is going on? 2 nuclear-powered countries beating each other's soldiers with sticks. Where are we at? And here it is again. Chinese troops reportedly hunted down Indian soldiers and beat them with batons wrapped in barbed wire. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? This defies imagination. It's absolutely insane, is it not? All right, so there you go. So let me get back to reality here for a moment. Okay, member goal. Let's get that back up. Let me get my camera back up, and we'll get the stream label. There you go. So Armand was the last to join. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Armand. And let me get back to the chat, and then we're going to get Joe in here in just a few minutes. Joe, if you're still there, send me a note and tell me you're still around. That way I don't hang on like I'm waiting, and my date is going to jilt me. All right, Katie Hopkins. Yeah, Katie Hopkins. I love Katie Hopkins. She's up to some interesting things, though, with South Africans, trying to find homes for them abroad. I'm not so sure I agree with that, but I appreciate her sentiment. William Vundeveld says, have you seen that there is a very good chance that Cecil Rhodes statue removed from Oxford? That's just insane. Insane. This nonsense has to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute nonsense. Yeah. The fact that Rhodes University was removed, his statue was removed from Rhodes and was defaced at Rhodes is insane. I don't want to hear the nonsense about who Cecil Rhodes was and what he did. The university exists because of an endowment from Cecil Rhodes. Grow up. Nonsense. Hashtag you morons. Anyway. Twitter's permanently banned. Oh, Twitter banned Katie Hopkins. Well, of course, Twitter doesn't like opinions and views. They only like leftist drivel and hate speech from the left. They ban no leftists. Look at that gas bag, that preening gas bag who was on Who's the Boss? What's her name? Alyssa Milano. The shameful, disgusting stuff she says. Oh, yeah, Joe Emilio. How dare you support Trump? Yes, we're going to talk about Joe Emilio's support for Trump in just a moment here, ladies and gentlemen. So just in case, Charles Tellis, Christy JVV says, hi. Hello, welcome to you. Agro says, non-blixens. That wasn't nice. Anyway, bite your ankles, Google, Twitter, Facebook. They should all watch out. These apps are easily replaced by another. Yeah, if only that were true. Parler tried, and they failed epically. Parler's tried to be a conservative site, but we just need honest people in business. That's what we need. Oh, my camera's not up. I just realized that. So I'm chatting away, and you're not seeing me. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, the number of people watching the stream increased while my camera is off. Maybe there's a correlation. Perhaps I should turn the camera off all the time and act as if I'm on radio. No, just teasing, folks. All right, so back to the chat. Let me get to the chat. Then we're going to get Joe in here. Katie Hopkins. Well, they do this all the time to, what's his name? The conservative actor who played on Shark. Can't think of his name right now. Very good actor. They do him all the time. All the time they do it to him. Anyway, so, yeah, please smash the like button, folks. If you want more subscribers and views, say hi to the people saying hi to you. Well, I just did, Christy, and I do that. I say it a lot. But there's a lot of people in here tonight, so I can't catch everybody. I'm trying. Hank Adrian's, sorry, Hank Adrian's. You've been here before. Thumbs up for taking a stand. I agree. I'm with you on that one. Did you see Trump's fake news tweet? No, I didn't. What's that, Pinar? What was fake? Christy says next. You're most welcome. It's my pleasure. My plaisir. C'est vraiment aucun problème pour parler avec tous les subscribers, tous les gens qui sont là pour écouter, pour regarder toutes les choses. C'est vraiment un plaisir de moi. Yes, it's my pleasure. Yeah, banned on Twitter. Twitter needs to go up in flames. It does, really does. Bobby B says they attacked the statue of 54th Regiment Boston. That's the Black Brigade. It is. That is that Joe Emilio is on standby. He's just let me know. We'll call him in just a moment. Yeah, the 54th Massachusetts is the regiment that famously, the movie Glory, in which Morgan Freeman starred, Denzel Washington, and of course also Matthew Broderick, who played Colonel Robert Gould Shaw. That was the regiment was raised in the north of free blacks and former slaves who had escaped, fought at Fort Wagner, and a brilliant movie, quite well done, historically relatively correct, and it's been defaced. Now, I saw a news fact site that claimed that it wasn't defaced, it's simply a renovation. No, there was $3 million raised by private donors before the Black Lives Matter terrorism took place. And domestic violence and insurrection. That's right. That was done beforehand, and it was vandalized after the fact. So that's the truth. Luke Lead Slinger. Ton français n'est pas trop mal. Well, thank you so much, Luke. Aber wir können auch auf Deutsch reden, wie Sie wollen. Es ist mir egal. Also Deutsch finde ich sehr interessant auch. Es ist schon seit über 35 Jahren, seit ich Deutsch gelernt habe. Ja, schon lange. Manche Leute denken, dass ich komme aus also die Umgebung, diese wie soll ich das sagen? Also von Frankfurt oder Hanau, aber ja, ist nicht wahr. Anyway, yeah. And then let's switch to Afrikaans. Ik praat niet Afrikaans. Nie. Forgot the second nie, which is coming from the French influence of Afrikaans. Okay, so let me catch up. All right. Okay, folks, what I'm going to do now is we're going to bring Joe Emilio in. For those who don't know, I'm going to hide that little membership goal thing because the goal here is not to talk about membership right now, but to get Joe Emilio in here. I'm also going to hide new subscribers, so sorry about that, but I'll point them out if the new folks come up. All right, so I'm going to call Joe, and then we're going to get him in here. So just a moment. Joe, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, today you're not triggered. Today we got some news. I'm going to bring you in just a second to the stream, so folks, be patient. Take me just a moment here to get Joe in, assuming the software is working as it's supposed to today. Okay. I see Just a Ghost is in the chat. Whoa, Just a Ghost just did a super chat. Well, thank you for that. All right. So, local, come on. It's not coming up with your picture. Okay. Why is Joe's picture? There he is. Okay. Took a second there. Done. All right. Boy, Joe, you're larger than life, man. I got to get you smaller. That's too big. Actually, since the subscribers aren't coming up, I'll leave you up like that right now. Okay. All right. Okay, there you go. Well, no, I'm hiding that right now. So Just a Ghost just gave a super chat of 35 Rand. I'm thinking of starting a OnlyFans account. Anyone want to join? What's that? OnlyFans account. Is that a website? I'm familiar with it. And I see Nigel now has credit for his membership. He's got a little house with a tree next to him there. And he's greeting you. Nigel, who's been famously on his mobile and been denied his membership rights on Chris White Africa, now has them fully in his charge. All right, Joe, let me put in my earpiece because I'm going to turn the volume down here so we don't get feedback on your thing. So just a second. Give me a second here. There we go. By the way, I got a chair today. This chair is killing my back. I don't want to be a cripple here, so I went out and finally coughed up a few bucks to get a gaming chair, which I was going to buy last year, and then I just decided not to do it. All right, Joe, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can't hear you. I'll get the volume turned up. There you are, Joe.
Testing, one,
okay,
two, testing.
Yeah. No, we're good. All right, Joe, we got about 88 folks tuned in. I think a lot of them came in just to hear what's going on with Joe Emilio. You are still a confused American/Egyptian/South African comedian, but that's not the news. Tell us what's going on about your case, my friend.
Yeah, so as some of you may know that, for those of you that watched, I think it was 48 hours ago, more or less. It was like, because it was after Cyril's address, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned that I have something brewing and I'm working on something to fight for my rights, and this is it. For those of you who don't know, I'll leave a link to the Twitter post that I put out earlier. There it is. And you can go check out a short version of the YouTube video that I put out. And please, if you want to support me, just retweet and share the video. That's all I'm asking. And basically, it explains how this person had a personal agenda against me and basically cost me the only paying comedy gig that I had during the lockdown. Now, anybody that knows any South African that knows how difficult the lockdown has been, for entertainers, we've been left aside. There's not a lot going on for us at the moment, and it's very difficult to find work. It's super rare.
Hey, Joe, sorry to interrupt you real quick, but Ben Lewis says the tweet link is broken. Has Twitter banned you like Katie Hopkins?
Oh, gosh, I hope not. But let me just see here.
Speaking of which, Ben Lewis is one of my most recent members. Thanks, Ben, for coming on there. Ben and I go back a ways on LinkedIn, so thanks for following me from platform to platform. But go ahead, Joe.
No, I seem to be still on Twitter. I'm on my profile at the moment. I'll try again. But yeah, so basically, what happened was this person. Some people say it works full fine. Okay. All right. So this person basically cost me the only comedy gig that I had, and I explained that in the video. There's certain things I can say, certain things I can't say, obviously because of the legal purposes. But I'm standing up for the fact that I was, to some extent, the events that this lady did, right? She went quite far to try and get me canceled. And this needs to stop, because what she's done is she's obviously taken food off of my table. And I actually had a comedian post on the YouTube channel's comment section. You can find it there. This comedian's name is Arlene. I interviewed her last night. Please go check that out. She's a very interesting woman. And we actually talk a bit about the cancel culture and stuff like that, and censorship in comedy. And I gave out a very warming and heartbreaking at the same time comment how the money she got from that gig, because she was one of the few comedians that I had the opportunity to have on that gig, the money she got from that helped her for 2 weeks during the lockdown. And I just think to myself, this woman now that has attacked me and cost me this gig is taking money from comedians I could have had on the show. And that really irritates me. It pisses me off. And all because she didn't like my political views. And what she accused me of, she can't prove. She accuses me of being a racist, a homophobe, a piece of shit Egyptian, all because in her mind, I'm some very right-wing, hectic Trump supporter. You know, I've never spoken to this woman. I didn't even know she existed before this weekend. I never once, and again, because I didn't know who she was, I never once went on her timeline and was like, you need to be a Trump supporter. That never happened. And yeah, she cost me this. So, and needless to say, I'm quite angry. I'm upset. It's been a hard week, very hard week. But I've taken legal action. And yeah, I'm fighting. I'm letting people know what she did, and a lot of people are saying like, yeah, but do you really need to talk about her? You're giving her more airtime, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the thing. People need to know that they can stand up for their rights. Just because some lefty tells you that you're wrong or that they don't agree with you, tough crap. That lefty needs to go somewhere else. They have the right to block you. They have the right to just scroll past you. These lefties that like to get involved in people's lives needs to stop, because there are repercussions for what they do. And in this case, she has no evidence to support her claims at all. And we're taking legal action. And I want to show the comedians that you can have a voice in the political sphere. You don't have to be scared every time. And also other people are saying like, yeah, what's the company's name and all that stuff. Look, I can't get into that.
There's no need for that. The issue is what matters, not the players.
Exactly. So I'm going to leave it at that. And again, it's about the principle. It's about what this woman did in order to get me canceled. And if it means that I have to, as Ramon said, eat shit for a few weeks, and so be it. But I'm going to stand up.
Family channel, Joe. Family channel.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to stand up to it because it's not right. It's absolutely not right. This person has robbed me and other people of food. And these lefties, they just need to stop.
You're right, Joe. And here's the thing. I think I was one of the. I talked to you like right after this was going down the other night, after midnight. You were kind of upset about this. We talked about it extensively, and of course, I couldn't share that. But is that right? Did I talk to you like right after this went down? Right? It was within a few hours of this. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. If you're talking about Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it wasn't right afterwards, you were triggered long after the fact. No, but what I want to say is that listen. So what's frustrating about this, I'm sure for you, is that it's not just her running her mouth and making empty claims and statements about you. It's had a tangible impact on your livelihood and your reputation. She's done you reputational harm. She's injured your income. She's injured your potential future earnings because she is intellectually bankrupt. I don't know who the person is. I just know that she's if she calls you a homophobe and a racist, then I know she's intellectually bankrupt. Joe and I have never sat out and had a beer, but we've had private conversations, and people reveal themselves in private when they're not with others, and those aren't things I would ever believe of you. No, it's interesting, and it's great that you fight back, Joe, and I hope you're able to successfully do this because enough of this cancel nonsense. These leftists have taken over the internet, all the social media. They control most of it, and they get away with the most reprehensible, disgusting, and vile things. And they cancel people with their lies about people. It's really disgusting. So I'm glad you stood up for yourself. And what do your attorneys say? Do you think you have a good case? I imagine you have a very good case.
My attorney is okay. Just so people know, I've linked the YouTube channel or the YouTube video as well in the comment section. You guys can go check it out. In the description is the links to my Facebook post about it and my Twitter post about it, and you guys can go there and also share that. Just this news needs to get out as much as possible. And let me address something as well. A lot of people have said that I should do a crowdfunding thing. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I don't want it to look like I'm doing this for money or anything like that because, again, it's about principle. And I will, again, fight it as much as I can. And, I'm trying to stay away from doing a crowdfunding thing. The other thing is, as you mentioned, or as you asked, the lawyer's opinion. He was laughing. He was laughing at the case. He said this is an open and shut thing. Again, no evidence whatsoever to support her claims. And then what happened today, obviously, when I released the video, she got wind of it a few hours later. And she then goes, because she had deleted the tweet, right? This vile tweet, right? And then she's so arrogant that she goes on Twitter again and she reposts it. So I sent that to the lawyer, and they were just like, okay, well, yeah. So we'll tackle that as well.
Well, and by the same token, it looks like, I believe, I can't confirm, that AfriForum is filing a court case against City Press's editor for his vile slander. And, of course, he'll defend his position saying, freedom of the press, freedom of the press. But freedom comes with responsibilities, and you still have to abide by the Constitution and the law, whether it's in South Africa and the United States. Public figures are open to much more in the way of criticism, and people have more latitude about things they can say about them. But that is not carte blanche to just say whatever you want. And so I hope they do get a case against the City Press editor, and that newspaper retracts what he said, because calling them the Ku Klux Klan with no, here's the thing about op-eds, Joe. An op-ed is an opinion, so you don't have to cite sources, and that's fine. We all have opinions. Everyone's got one of those. And when you're in charge of a newspaper, it's okay for a newspaper to have an op-ed piece about a political candidate or a political position or even private sector. But you can't just make stuff up. That's not protected. And I do hope that this is resolved, because, I mean, the disgusting things. And this guy attacks the Institute for Race Relations. And so I didn't go after, but I made that video just to complain about what's going on. So hopefully people will take notice of this. It happens on this side all the time. What I said in this op-ed, I said, listen, if he's so upset because he's trying to dismiss the World Must Know campaign that AfriForum and IIR are working on together. And so he's trying to dismiss that as if it has no merit. Well, if it's so meritless, then what are you concerned about? Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Nobody will pay attention to it if there's nothing to it. If what they claim isn't real, then no one's going to support it. But if you don't believe your ideas have merit, then you say nonsense like this.
Exactly. Yeah, and I just want to say to Elizabeth, who commented, how you didn't misunderstood me earlier with comment on the other show. I fully support you. Just meant she doesn't deserve publicity. Yeah, well, again, she doesn't deserve. Well, I can't really say what she deserves, but I did misunderstand your comments. But even so, you weren't the. Even though you didn't mean it that way, you weren't the only one that implied that. So, because a lot of people came to me, or not a lot, but a few people came to me in my private capacity and said, "Yeah, you really need to be doing this." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I need to be doing this. This is the problem. This is exactly the problem. People are being silenced because they're scared. They're scared to say anything." Again, with Arlene, the comedian last night, we spoke about how we're scared to say anything political, anything at all. We're scared that if we say the wrong thing, our clients are going to disown us, or we're going to lose potential work. And that's not right. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And I'm done. I'm done just, going like, okay, no, I got to toe the line. I can't say this. I can't say that. That's not comedy. That's not how comedy is. And I gotta fight for it.
No, absolutely, Joe. Listen, something that's wrong with my bots in here in Streamlabs, so my sincere apologies. Just a Ghost just gave a 35 Rand super chat, and it didn't come up on the screen. I think I've fixed it now. My apologies for that, Just a Ghost, but let me give you credit. Joe, he said that, Joe, I think a lot of us will support your next live comedy show. Well, that's great, guys, but why don't you support Joe's now by going to his YouTube channel, subscribing to it, and checking it out. Please do that. Joe, put your YouTube channel in the chat there, please, the link so people can go there.
I will.
Please become a subscriber. Listen, if you don't watch anything else, watch his roast. They are hilarious.
Actually, tonight was the best roast we've had. I'm kidding you not, nonstop laughter. But again, you need to have the thick board. Everything's on the table. If you know Comedy Central roasts, we're worse than that. So you got to be going in with an open mind, and we get really mean, but we love each other. We mean no harm, and I do say this in the show. And it was really, really funny. My stomach is still sore from all the laughter.
Yeah, Joe, that's false advertising. I've watched your roasts. They're just love fest for Donald Trump.
Watch it now.
You guys cuddle about Donald Trump, and you drink margaritas, and you all put on orange hair wigs. I've seen your shows. But seriously, no. So please subscribe to Joe's channel. Check it out. Let's push him. Hey, Joe, did you cross the 500 mark earlier today? You were just below it. I want to make sure we get you there.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at the Punisher's comment.
What did the Punisher say? I missed it because I was watching your face.
You won't get it because you didn't see the roast. But Yabba Dabba Boor.
Okay, I'll check out the roast later on.
You'll need to watch the roast. But yes, that was probably the funniest moment of the entire show. It was extremely funny. But yes, I have crossed the 500 subscription mile. I'm hopefully gonna get to 1,000 soon. That's the goal, so I can be like you and monetize and hopefully start making money off of this. So I don't have to rely on companies or clients or whatever. I can make my own way. Again, the entertainment sphere at the moment is very tough. Not a lot of opportunities, and that's why I'm trying to work so hard to build this channel. And Ramon was kind enough to have me on his stream earlier and asked if I'm going to be a right-wing, I don't like using that term, but a right-wing comedian. And I thought about it. There's actually not a lot of right-wing comedians in Cape Town or South Africa, for that matter, that I know of. There could be now, I don't know. But again, because we're scared to comment about what could be the truth or maybe just not common or populist opinion, we're kind of scared to make those kind of shows and produce that. But I think I'm going to continue doing it. I don't know when the next episode will be. There is one episode already up that I've kind of experimented. And as I told Ramon, I'm still new to the comedy making jokes about politics and stuff like that. I'm more of a comedian that tells stories and personal experiences. And there is stand-up comedy on my channel. You guys can go check it out, my stand-up comedy. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try and just be a political comic. I mean, after all, like I said, lockdown, there's nothing better for me to do. So why not?
There's Christy JVV said something a while ago. I'm still trying to figure it out. 4 million people in South Africa used to work in the restaurant industry. That's 10% of the population. Talking about cancel culture. I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm confused by that. But yeah, let's see. There's quite a few things coming out here now. Gareth asked me to bring somebody on the show. Did I miss something? Who are we trying to bring on the show? Anyway, I missed that. So. And Hendo is more people getting beyond hurtful with these extreme left-wing idiots. Yeah, but the problem is that they run our popular media, our news, and such. Bite Your Ankle says AfriForum did lay charges. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so, yeah, Joe, no, it's good that you're standing up for this and that you're standing up for your rights. It must be an odd situation to find yourself. I mean, you're not famous like Dave Chappelle. And you've been attacked. And if it weren't for your courage to stand up for yourself and for your rights, they would get away with it. So that's got to be an odd situation.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd because, I mean, I'm not. Look, I was about to get my big comedy break before the lockdown, and unfortunately, COVID-19 happened, so that obviously was taken away, and I was going to be on TV, and it was a very exciting time for me. So I've earned my stripes. I've been around for 10 years. I've worked hard to be where I am. And a lot of comedians have come out of this or messaged me personally. I just got a message moments ago from a fellow comedian saying, good on you for fighting back and stuff like that. So, there is a lot of guys and girls in the industry that are telling me to keep going. There's a lot of support for them. So even though I might not be like a Dave Chappelle, I like to think, and I hope that my reputation supersedes me in the comedy industry because I've helped a lot of those guys even start comedy or get into comedy. I did stages in places, or I produced shows in places where we didn't have comedy. Northern suburbs of Cape Town, there's not a lot of comedy. You have to go to town. So I offered these stages, and I've been guys going on TV and stuff like that, and they were like, I don't know if anyone knows Chantal Fenter, but she's one of these comedians. Literally, if I wouldn't say if it wasn't for me, I don't want to take full credit, but I gave her an opportunity to start, and she's recently been on TV and all that stuff. So, and she's a very funny woman, and so those examples, and again, the comics are scared to kind of like just choose a side. I can see that. Maybe in a few days they'll support better, but at the same time, if I have to do this alone, then so be it. I do think it's a fight worth fighting for, and the fact that I'm no Dave Chappelle or whatever doesn't bother me. It is weird because a lot of people in the comments are saying like, "Who's Joe?" But
well, maybe you become super famous because of this lawsuit.
Well,
wouldn't that be karma?
That would be actually, yeah. That would be really, and I wouldn't complain. But that's not what I'm doing this for.
No, we know that, Joe. This is about your rights. I think everybody's got that. Hey, so Agro suggested something really cool here. I hadn't really thought about this. He said, Joe, you should make short snippets of your comedy so that Chris can feature it on Stray Voltage. That's actually a cool idea. But Joe, if you do that, if you give me a little snippet to play on here, a couple short videos. If you hit me with a copyright claim, I'm going to stop doing it because I play Giselle's music and I have the artist approval and they have the rights to it. And the third party keeps catching the music and I have to go in every time I play her songs like I will after this video and dispute it. And today I got a dispute back saying that the third party says, no, you don't have rights to it. And that's it. I can't monetize my videos. So anyway, but yeah, that's actually an interesting idea, Joe. Think about that. And Gareth was saying that I should bring Monde Macania onto the show. Do you think he'd come on after my video if he's seen it?
I have no idea. You're worth trying.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, look, I think if anybody wants to watch my stand-up comedy, they can go to my channel and subscribe. I don't mean to offend anyone or you, Chris, but yeah, like the clips I have on my YouTube channel, they're already clipped, and they need to be that way because there's a story. Like I said, I'm a storytelling comic. I don't think I could make them any shorter than they already are. I'm happy if you maybe use one clip or two. You can watch them and let me know which one you want to put on. I'll happily give it to you. I won't do any copyright claim. But yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, Joe, I think you're just a racist because you won't share it with this poor pale white guy.
That's putting words in my mouth.
Well, I think we've got the super chat thing fixed finally. There it is. And now Christo has donated a super chat, and the zombie was running above the Mahaliesburg. I don't know how that happened, so I got to get him back where he belongs. But so Christo has given a super chat, and he says, Joe, it's good to stand up against these people. I think you need to set up a PayPal, Patreon, so we can support you until you have enough people to monetize your streams. Joe, you don't have to answer that. I know you don't want to think about that offline. Maybe that's not a bad idea because YouTube won't let you monetize till you get to a certain level. So anyway, just you don't have to answer that, Joe. But Christo, I think that's actually a good idea. So anyway.
Well, let me ask this
Yeah.
to the people that are in the chats. If you want me to set up a Patreon and you really support me, it's not a bad idea to do that. But again, I fear that people will think, oh, well, he's trying to take advantage of the situation and all that stuff and try and say that I'm trying to make money out of this. But Patreon is different. If I have a Patreon link for my channel. I just haven't figured out because, you have to do like tiers in certain areas. Like what you've done for your channel, there's like tiers and
Sure.
people do certain things. So I haven't figured that out yet. That's why I haven't been promoting it.
So, Joe, let me ask this question. Let me interrupt you real quick, okay? Is it possible for me to promote that people support you off my channel, so you're not doing it off your channel? And then is there a way for me to put it there so it goes to yours, or is it just something you control and I can't? I mean, it's just a code. I don't know how it works. What I'm saying is that if I can ask people to help support you rather than you do it, if I can put that up, and it goes direct to that Patreon account or whatever. Is that a possibility? If that is, I'd be happy to do it. And I'll bring up your struggle.
Yeah, I think that would work because I don't want to. Again, like if you watch the video that I made today on YouTube, you'll see I didn't ask anyone to follow me. Yep. I didn't ask anyone to support me. I didn't ask anyone to subscribe because it's not about that. So if someone else does it, if someone else promotes me and pushes it out there, I can do that. That's your choice. I can't stop that.
No, that's what I get. Maybe we'll do that. So you and I talk offline. Christo's got a good idea there. You shouldn't have to. I suspect the leftist that attacked you probably doesn't have 2 rand to scratch on her own anyway. So winning will be a victory, but the reputational harm can't be recouped if the business that cut you off doesn't restore you and that sort of thing. So anyway, It's not like you're suing, Cyril Ramaphosa, who's got $450 million he's sitting on top of. So no, look,
not like I would see it anyway.
It's no, seriously, it's not about the money, but it's part of making you whole again, and that's what gets lost on a lot of people. This is about making people whole, and that's important. Is my light shining? Hang on a second. My light is shining there. It is. Hang on. Go ahead, Joe.
This is something, and I think this is where some of the people may not realize is that tweet that she put out is something that could damage my reputation in more ways than one. And as we've seen recently, old tweets surface. They come up again. And that's why I don't want to let this go, because I am not what she accuses me of. And I knew that if I just left it, it might have popped up again. And the fact that she even deleted the tweets in the first place, as she puts it up, then she kind of gets what she wants and then she deleted it. It's like an admission of guilt to me. And, again, the internet is forever. So something needs to be done.
No, absolutely. I agree. It's something I learned a long, long time ago when Bill Gates was sued for antitrust and Microsoft were sued for antitrust because of Internet Explorer when they were trying to drive Netscape out of business. When that happened, Bill Gates, much to his chagrin, discovered that email is subject to discovery. So much like a tweet, that's subject to discovery. In a court case, they can go back and find that stuff and get it off a server. In a court order, it must be produced. And Bill Gates lost, and Microsoft lost that antitrust suit because they actively colluded to destroy their competitor with unfair marketplaces and monopolistic practices. People forget about that when they talk about the great humanitarian Bill Gates who gives all our money away and gets all the credit for it, but from us buying his crappy software. And I know, Joe, you're an Apple guy, so you don't buy Bill Gates' crappy software, but I do.
Because it's reliable.
No, none of them are reliable, as you and I have talked about. I've had trouble with Apple too. They stole all my damn Apple Store NFL videos. But anyway, yeah. So thanks, Christo, for that nice super chat you tossed our way. I'd say it in Afrikaans, but I can't say "hoi" very well, so that G's not working for me there. But let's see what else we got here in the chat. Hendo was happy about the flying zombie a few minutes ago. And Handy Dutchman said he'd like to be part of the pushback. So you and I will talk offline. If we can figure something out, Joe, then I'll push for it if it helps you. But I'm not going to get send money to me and I'll send it to Joe, because by the time it comes to me and it gets to you and the middleman takes the money out, 50% of that money would never reach you because all the middlemen.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Can I just say this as well? Thank you to everyone who I will say this, the response to this has been overwhelming, and it fuels that fight in me to keep on going. Because I'll be honest, I was very unsure about doing this. You must understand, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety this week, a lot of tears and fear of what people might say or do, and the support has been tremendous. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. And again, even if you end up I understand people want to help with money, and there are legal costs that need to be covered. But again, the biggest thing we can do now to really get back at these people is share. Go to my YouTube video. In the links in the description, we'll have my Facebook page where I've linked the video, my Twitter post with the video, and just retweet share all the time, and hopefully other people will share, because this needs to get out there. What she did is not okay.
Not at all. It's reprehensible, actually, and it deserves legal action, I believe. Just a Ghost just gave a super chat. He says Count Dankula has a video on e-begging rules. I don't know if that's for me or for Joe or for both of us, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so got a new member there. Oh, look, it's working again. Look at that. Now the zombie's working again. How did that happen?
Yeah.
So
you got a new member because I'm on, by the way.
Oh, that's what it is, Joe. Yeah. Well, I noticed our count dropped a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. So Lawrence Voits has become a member of this site. Thank you so much for that, Lawrence. And Just Goes, thank you for that super chat. There's a couple things I want to get over here from members and subscribers who've been writing things. Lawrence, before he became a member, asked, who's your favorite comedian? George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Rob Williams, Richard Pryor, or somebody else?
Oh, is that to me?
Yeah, well, yeah, to you. Yeah, to you.
I'm not I'm okay. What people need to understand is I'm also, because I'm doing this fight because I love stand-up comedy. I cannot explain how much I love stand-up comedy. If you know, I'm fans of all the comedians in Cape Town, South Africa, even abroad. I cannot explain to anyone how much I love comedy. It saved my life. Comedy saved my life, and maybe one day I'll tell the full story on that. But is for that reason that it's very difficult for me to say that I have a top favorite. But I will say this: the first comedian I ever listened to was Dave Chappelle, and then that led to Robin Williams, Dane Cook, Jim Carrey, Tim Allen, Jim Foxworthy. Because at this time I was in Egypt, so I was researching all the American comedians at the time. And then when I got here, I immediately wanted to know, okay, who are the comedians? And the first African comedian I listened to was Barry Hilton. And then I didn't really understand a lot of what he said because it was very South African. But now I think he's one of the funniest guys. And I've had the pleasure of chatting to him on my show on YouTube, where there is an interview with him there. And I've met him before then, and I like all of them. John Vlismus, I know he triggers some people, but he's retired now. There's quite a few. Like I said, if I think some of them you don't even know, like Carl Weber, I'm a huge fan of. I like Phil DeLonge. I like the list can go on. A lot of the comedians I love and adore are on my channel. They guest on my channel. I interviewed them. We have fun together. And I want to interview all the comedians in South Africa and maybe even in America. Like if I can reach some American comedians to come on my show, they're more than welcome to. There's no limit. Yeah,
actually, there's a little bit of housekeeping here, Joe, very quickly. But I should say that Joe has done, I think, remarkable stuff especially when you had just a handful of subscribers bringing comedians on. Nobody else was doing that. If they are, I missed it entirely. So I think it's pretty cool you're doing that. But Lorenz Vortz, who just became a member of the site, also has tossed a super sticker our way of 21 Rand. Thank you so much for that. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that just before that, who said this? I think it was Hendo said that. Yeah, Hendo said Joe's taking credit for everything. So I thought I'd point that out since the super chat came and the super sticker. But yeah, so let me catch up here. Now, Christy JVV had said this. I can't bring myself to say that. Sir Roman Post is worth $965 million. Listen, Christy, I can't find a reliable source that says that. I've heard people repeat it. Those who know me know that I was an intelligence analyst and a published author, so I'm all about facts. If I can find a source that's reliable, but the only reliable sources I can find is his most recent valuation was $450 million. But regardless, he didn't earn any of that. That was all given to him as part of the corrupt, elite handover of equity from Standard Bank and from Anglo American and all these companies that were shaken down at the end of apartheid by the ANC in order to keep the current dispensation economically going. So if I can find a reliable source, then I'll repeat that. But I have not seen it for that much. I know people keep famously saying he's a billionaire. He's a Rand billionaire, to my knowledge. That's factual. But of course, it's 37 billion Rand to the U.S. dollar. So that's pretty easy to accomplish. Most of you guys are Rand billionaires. Joe, that was a joke. You're supposed to laugh.
Yeah,
you're supposed to laugh. My
no, I was replying to a comment. Because someone said Corneille Twaki, and yes, I've had Ralph Van Vuren on the show, and I'm also a fan of Corneille Twaki and Ralph Van Vuren. Very funny, very talented. And then someone else said NDZ is my favorite comedian, Zol.
So Nigel Soden says, tough Gemini, Chris has friends in high places. Good to have him here. Yeah, well, maybe. I won't say who my friends may or may not be that are in high places, but... Sean Folshank, who's had a number of comments. I apologize for not catching all your stuff there, Sean. You've had some good comments. Says Ramaphosa's assets were recorded in parliamentary document. He had to declare his assets. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Maybe I'll try to find those documents, because one thing about the government, with the exception of crime statistics and farm data, they're relatively transparent with most other data. But when it comes to crime statistics and farm data, they've been nothing but opaque. I remember about a decade or so ago when suddenly the South African government just stopped reporting crime. It just didn't happen anymore because the number of murders and rapes were so embarrassing that they just didn't want to do it. Really, really sad, though. Anyway, so let's see. Where are we at, Joe? What else we got here?
That's communism for you.
So what else is on your mind, Joe, other than your case? Anything?
Not really. Like I said, I'm still blown away with the response, and I've been getting some great messages from people, and I'm just I'm waiting for the next step. There's a process that needs to be done now, and I'm waiting. But I will say this: it's very nice to be on the YouTube sphere. Ramon has been very kind. You've been very kind. There's some other people that have reached out and asked if I want to talk about it. Look, I can talk about anything, just not details or crucial details about the case, obviously, as advised by my lawyers. And it's all about spreading the news about what she did and making sure that this behavior is frowned upon, because I feel like the left, they get away with so much, and they're hypocritical.
Well, look, they're destroying our city centers in this country, and we're being told about largely peaceful protest. Are you serious? There's an armed insurrection taking place in this country, in Seattle, in Portland, in Minneapolis, and Washington, D.C. Armed insurrection against the authority of the United States and the District of Columbia and these states and municipalities. And it must be stopped. They're getting away with it. Even in the age of Donald Trump, they get away with it, because so many swamp creatures occupy the public space across this nation. It's terribly distressing.
Yeah. And then you see also things like this on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it, but the headline from News 24 reads, President Cyril Ramaphosa has called on white South Africans to assist in creating an inclusive economy rather than holding on to the privileges of the past. And I mean, you ask what's on my mind.
Does that privilege of the past include his $450 million, I wonder? I doubt it. Or Tokyo Sexuales, billion, or Patrice Modice's billions. And shall we go the list through all the money that was pilfered from the arms deal, the money wasted on Conla, the oil gate scandal, the travel gate scandal. I mean, there's so many scandals in South Africa. I can't even remember all of them. And they're not little. Oh, Nigel. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pick on Nigel now. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt this. Nigel twice has pointed out that he's 67 years old. So I think maybe he's trying to make sure that we respect our elders. So maybe that's what it is. But now he says, Chris, speak a little closer to the mic. So now I'm wondering if it's because Nigel's 67 years old. And Hendo says, yeah, tell that to the starving whites in squatter camps. Absolutely. No, it goes back to this nonsense that you're always hearing about white privilege, utter nonsense. It's, listen, I didn't have money to go to university. I had to get my high school guidance counselor to call the university admissions office to waive the $25 application. Can you imagine? $25. That's nothing. I didn't have it. And I went to school on a full poor person's grant from federal government, from the state government, and worked. And I got a loan. And that's how I paid for my university when I first went to university. And lived in a farm in which it didn't have plumbing, didn't have electricity for periods of time. Used generators and then milked cows and collected eggs. I'm sick of hearing these people and their white privilege. This comes from primarily privileged white people that come up with this nonsense. That's what's so frustrating about it, Joe. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's just. We discussed it after the president's speech. This president says like the weirdest things to me, and it just perpetuates this divide that is here in South Africa. I see other people, foreigners, commenting on South Africa, like, "Wow, the racism is really bad in South Africa," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you don't understand. It's not." When I go to the shops, I'm not seeing violence against different people of color or anything like that. It's quite normal. It's just this narrative that I think people have, and they live with this anxiety. It's almost to the point now where you're like scared to go out, but there's no reason to be scared because it's this narrative that the media perpetuates and this government just keeps on shoving down the people's minds. And it makes me very sad because it's false. It's all false. And I saw a comment earlier in the thing, someone saying, "I'm still waiting for the benefits of my white privilege." My capital. And I mean, that's the thing. My wife says the same thing. She's white, and she's like, "I don't understand where this is coming from." She worked hard to earn the things that she's earned, and she didn't come from a wealthy background or anything like that. Like her parents worked long hours, both of them, to provide for their kids, and they were also in the same situation that most South Africans were. It's this false also history that this government is giving, and it's really annoying.
But it's not just that government, Joe. So, and when you make the argument that you're talking about with education and economics or inheriting wealth, things like that, when you dispel that myth, which is a myth for most people. When you dispel that, then it becomes, well, because of the color of your skin, you don't get pulled over by the law enforcement, or you don't get asked questions that other people get asked about making loans. And that's all horse crap too. I've been pulled over 30 times during my life in the States, and I've lived most of my adult life overseas. Why? Because I'm usually driving in a different state with a different license plate. And cops pull people over with out-of-state plates all the time because you're not going to contest a ticket. So it's easier to fob a ticket off on you. And every time, I call that driving while in the military because only military members always have foreign out-of-state plates. And the list goes on and on and things. It's really, you can't deal with people rationally like this because they want to blame someone else for something that they have control over. Instead of asking for people to change your narrative, you change your own narrative. So when it comes to this whole issue about institutional racism, I can point to institutional racism. It's called South Africa in the African National Congress, Black Economic Empowerment and Affirmative Action, the Tourism Relief Fund. The list goes on and on and on. It's endless. That's systemic racism. That's institutional racism, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong, and it harms all South Africans. When you don't make a loan or you don't provide relief money to a white minority or Indian minority-owned business in South Africa, the 66 to 70% of their employees who are black lose their jobs too. So it's just stupid stuff. It really absolutely drives me absolutely bonkers, all this stuff. And it's all over the place. It's not just in South Africa. And people get away with it all the time because people don't push back.
On the bright side, restaurants and hairdressers and other certain parts of the industry is opening up. I don't think it's that good news because I mean hairdressers fine. Everyone's making fun like I don't know how we're going to be in restaurants if we have to wear a mask. That's going to be interesting, and everyone's like the comedy industry is kind of getting excited to hear that theater is going to be up and running again. But again, I don't know. You're going to be very limited with the amount of feet that can come through the door. So I don't know how that's going to work out because when you're in theater, you have to pay rent. You have to pay the theater rent to do a show. So we'll see. I don't know. That's all developing. But this advanced level 3 lockdown is a joke. This whole lockdown is a joke.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. But on the topic here of discrimination and such, this is actually legalized in many parts of Africa. For instance, in Liberia, only black Africans can own land. What the hell does that mean? Only black Africans. Well, I know what it means because I lived in Liberia. And that means that the Lebanese who live there and have been there for 4 generations, so the 4th generation born in Liberia, it's illegal for them to own land. Now, how is that not racially discriminatory? It is racially discriminatory, but Liberia gets away with it. It's interesting because Liberia, of course, was famously ruled for most of its history by a minority of former American slaves and free blacks who came back and incorporated some other folks into the group. But by and large, they ruled that country and they owned the land, but they weren't even from there either. So it's absolute nonsense. And this is perpetuated across many places in Africa, and it's never brought up. If people just treat people fairly, then you don't have these problems. But in South Africa, we seem to see the ANC that has this it's our turn to eat and we want to get even concept and mindset that's been in place for some time. And it's really frustrating, I know, for a lot of minorities in South Africa.
It's like you look at the statement again with the president saying that the whites need to give their privilege or whatever he said, and give to the economy and make it more equal. BEE is the problem here, sir. Like that's the problem. That's what's causing your divide. That's what's causing everyone to be upset. And you cannot fight racism with racism. It's never worked. It's made it worse. You can't fight racism with it just because you want to right the wrongs of the past. You being racist back to people who had nothing to do with the laws that were implemented back then is not going to solve the problem. How many times are we going to go back and forth? All that's going to happen is probably some people are going to do a massive pushback, which will then in turn maybe switch things and be neutral and be fair, or we might get an even worse situation because now they're fighting back against the populist narrative, which is a very scary thing.
Absolutely. So Gareth said a bit ago, he said he couldn't get a loan, he couldn't get a job in the military, too pale, they said. Absolutely. The military has quotas. Why can't any South African who is physically fit, mentally fit, and within the age standards and not a criminal become a member of the South African National Defense Force? You can't if they already have enough whites and enough Indians and enough blacks. I mean, it works the way for everybody. So if you're black and they're at their 75% target, then you can't join. It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. If we had a rule like that here in America, can you imagine? I mean, when I was enlisted back in the 80s, 1/3 of our enlisted force was black. And people are like, yeah, what's your point? Well, 13% of the population is black. So that's almost 3 times representation in the enlisted force as to the general population. So it's just ludicrous. If it should be the people who are best qualified. But of course, the reason the BEE is in place is because, a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is that a lot of these firms are fictional and non-existent, and they don't deliver services. It's just a conduit to funnel money. And so if they actually had to produce the goods and services, they couldn't compete on a contractual basis with a lot of business, in particular minority business. And that's part of the reason why that nonsense exists. Absolutely nonsense.
Yeah, and I wish we could do a tax revolt. I mean, I'm not calling for it, but I'm just saying, in principle and in theory, it sounds like a good idea because we're taking the money away from the powers that be. But obviously, that money goes to other things. So it's obviously really tricky and difficult to implement. But a lot of people are talking now about what should we do. We need answers. I think we touched on it last time when we were talking, and I'm gonna say again, and I know people want answers now. I don't have the answers. I'm fighting my own fight right now, which I need to focus on. But I would say that for those of you that are frustrated, for those of you that are angry, speak out, say something, and show it at the voting polls.
No, I agree with you, Joe. Let me do a little more catch up with some of the chat here. Bite Your Ankle said, my daughter is a qualified doctor, did her master's in producing, and she now sells personal protective equipment to survive this lockdown. Now, I know this story many, many times, folks. Eureka says, Ostoyson says, the hair salon I worked at rented space to 8 stylists, only 3 are going back. By the way, for those who are curious about my locks, I did go by my barber, and she is in business. She survived. Apparently, she opened, and I'm not going to give the date she opened because I don't know if she violated Governor Wolf's draconian lockdown or not. But she's been in business for a while now. I didn't even know it. So I went by. Her barbershop is empty except for the person who's being taken care of. So I walked in the door, and she hasn't seen me since August because I used to get my hair cut every 2 weeks anyway. She did recognize me with my Pete Retief beard and my surfer hair, but that was good. She laughed. But the shop was empty. You have to call in ahead of time, but she'll do it. So she offered to trim my beard. So should I get my beard policed up a little bit here by the local barber? But the point is that she's still in business, so that's good. She's a one-woman operation, though. She does fantastic work. But it's really sad to see businesses like this, particularly in industries where women play a key role, like in hair salons and nail salons, things like that, that they've lost jobs. Let me catch up a little bit more here on this stuff. How can the whoops? Oh, okay. So yeah, Gareth has said the U.S. military also have varsity grants to servicemen and women, don't they? Yeah, we don't call it varsity grants. Varsity's high school for us, Gareth. But the military does offer educational funding so that people can go to university while you're serving in the military. I earned an associate's degree at night by going to school on weekends and at evenings, taking classes while overseas in the military. And then I had money I received from the military for the job that I signed up for, which they had difficulty filling, and then also from the Veterans Administration, veterans benefits, which help pay for my university. So I've gotten 5 college degrees, either from my own money or money I earned and compensation from military service. So a associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and 3 master's degree. Of course, all of that rolled up doesn't equal a PhD. So anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, Dogbreaker says, good evening. He just looks like Dogbreaker just came in. Interesting. That's nice to know.
All right, so let's recap quickly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly, Joe. No, but seriously, let's do a quick recap here, Joe. So, listen, we started the show out today. Welcome, everybody. It's a Friday evening. Ran through a whole list of news items taking place. Mentioned the video that I did about the City Press op-ed, which slandered or libeled AfriForum and also the Institute for Race Relations. We talked about farm attacks in Gauteng. Also talked about Tendai Mbidi, the opposition member in Zimbabwe, having been arrested unreasonably. India, China. And then we brought Joe on to talk about the ongoing legal situation that he's dealing with, in which someone slandered you. Actually, since it was written, I guess it's really libel, so that's even more serious. But Joe's filed a court case against this person, and the wrath of God is coming for this person. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just got notified that my lawyer actually retweeted me. And if those of you that want to know who my lawyer is, because I can say that, he's been in many cases in South Africa. I think once you guys Google him, you'll find out. Daniel Ilof. He was recently, or not recently, but he was mentioned by Ramon a few times on his channel, and he is the lawyer that is helping me with this case. And I recommend anyone and everyone to go follow him on Twitter. Just Google Daniel Ilof, and yeah, he's a great guy. He's helping me out tremendously with this. And please, if you need anything, like, he's got an awesome law firm, so whatever you need, speak to him.
Well, Joe, I feel that you've misled me. I understood from our conversations you would be hiring the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
They're not reliable.
It works for Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah, well.
Or Jacob Zuma. Let's see. So other comments here. People are talking about the taxi industry getting a bailout and such, and I think Tough Gemini said, how is it possible they're getting government relief when they're illegal and not paying tax? Because, Tough Gemini, this is not about relief. This is not about saving South Africa's economy. The National Coronavirus Command Council was created to impose totalitarian rule over South Africa. Ooh, did I say that out loud? In fact, I did say it out loud because that's the only conclusion I can come to, because they're nonsensical regulations and rules they've put in place. And it's undemocratic, it's unelected, it's unaccountable, and they're doing what they want regardless of what South Africans have to say. To me, that's totalitarian, that's fascist in many respects. And the reason that the tax industry is getting money is nothing to do with saving industry. It's with currying votes. It's vote buying, it's pandering, and it's also an effort to destroy legitimate businesses. The number of small and medium enterprises that have collapsed in South Africa is astonishing. No one even has a figure on this. But I personally know several small businesses that have collapsed as a consequence of what's happened. The money the Ruperts gave, the money that Patrice Modise gave, where did that money go? It was denied to minority business owners, and it wasn't supposed to be. That came from their own pockets. By the way, Cyril, where are your billions? Where is your donation? You want to talk about white South Africans trying to give up
He
their
took a
privilege?
salary cut.
Oh, did he? What, 5 rand?
No, 2.5 rand.
So speaking of which, Cyril Ramaphosa takes a salary, and he's worth $450 million or $1 billion, whatever. He's worth a lot more than you and I, Joe, and everybody in the chat here, many times over. Donald Trump actually takes no salary and has never taken a penny from the federal government his entire time as president. All of his money is donated back to the federal budget, and he just gets to designate who gets it, which department gets it. Yeah, not a penny. You ever heard about that? Probably not. Where's Cyril Ramaphosa's generosity? Taxi bailout. Yeah, quite disgusting. I'm with folks here. This is very disturbing what's going on here, but it has to be exposed. And I think one of the reasons for my channel, why I'm doing the Stray Voltage live streams, is because it's kind of like I said before, a public service. Yes, I know I've monetized the channel, and I've also put memberships on, but that's because people ask me to put the memberships on, and you can't do that till you're monetized. Actually, I think the membership is kind of cool, and I actually like the zombie, so I'm glad I got the zombie working again. I love when he climbs up the Mahalisberg. But absolutely, the reason for the Stray Voltage was because people were locked down, and a lot of people lost hope. You know, no one's talking about this anymore, but I've talked about this from the very outset. For people locked down, what about mental health issues? And the fact that people are locked up together for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, who don't normally spend that kind of time together. What does that do to spousal relationships or partner relationships or child abuse or incest? I've never heard anyone other than myself talk about the consequence of incest. No one wants to talk about it because it's a very scary, dirty thing. It's a secret we don't talk about. But let me tell you, I lived in Southern Africa, and the rates of incest, fathers raping, molesting their daughters is off the charts, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not ethnic specific. It's across all ethnicities. And you can deny it. You can pretend it's not real. But look at all these kids we've made further victims by giving the people who molesting them access to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week now. And no one in South Africa has ever talked about that issue yet. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Absolutely. We see, that's the thing. We need to talk about certain things in this country, and the media is hell bent on not talking about it. I'll give you a very good example. Another good example to your point, Chris. Again, last night I had comedian Arlene Peterson on my show, and she told me something that really shook me to the core. And you guys, I encourage everyone to go check that out. I'll leave the link just for that show. And Chris, actually, I think you should probably get her on your show. I'm telling Ramon, I'm telling you, and I'm telling everyone, we need to get her on the shows on YouTube, because what's happening in her community is people are dying because of the cigarette ban. It is the new gang war that is happening now. The other week, a 3-year-old died because of cigarettes. And I'll let her tell the story. I'll let her tell the story. But yeah, because of gang war, because of gang violence, basically, that's happening now, because the cigarettes are the new cocaine. The cigarettes are the new, there's turf wars happening everywhere. And it's creating a very war zone-like situation in her areas, in the community. I mean, she used to do charity work where she would give food to the homeless and to kids and stuff like that. They can't do that anymore because of how violent the community has become over the ban of cigarettes. And I think that we need to do whatever we can to get people to talk about that, because the media, they won't touch it. They won't talk about it at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's so the boogeyman for the past 15 years in South Africa, as the failures of the ANC mounted after the Polokwane massacre, in which Thabo Mbeki was removed as the president of the African National Congress, which famously means that you must be removed as president of the republic, because of course we know the party trumps the nation in South Africa and its political. Whoa, you guys hear that? That was
That
thunder.
wasn't me.
That was thunder
Oh.
here. I might have said too much about the ANC,
Yeah.
but for the last 15 years, the boogeyman, of course, has been apartheid. Everything is, the ANC is guilty of no failures. Their macroeconomic policies are just brilliant, and the economy would be 6% per year. Everybody would be living with golden toilets and stools if only it wasn't for apartheid. But now the boogeyman has gone beyond apartheid. Now it's any minorities, but specifically white South Africans. And one more boogeyman now. Now with the National Coronavirus Command Council, the boogeyman is cigarettes and alcohol. Cigarettes and alcohol are the proximate cause of South Africa's woes. And listening to the lunacy and the irrational concept of thinking that comes from your Minister of Police, Beketsile, who spoke in KZN last week, and when he said that the lockdown has been wonderful because there have been no cash in transit heists, there's been no robberies, and things are so much better in the country. But now the alcohol is out there, that's the problem. No, the problem is that people were locked down. They didn't have access to abuse people in those ways you're talking about. Now people get back to their business, and you're going to see that spike. What we really need is for people to raise their kids properly, inculcate values in their children across the country at every level, and for the ANC to stop racializing everything and to stop wasting and stealing money so that South Africans get proper, legitimate educations in the country, which is something they do not get.
Yeah, absolutely. How... Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. I hear Cairo is nice this time of year.
Well, have fun, guys. You go enjoy Cairo. It's not exactly my idea of a holiday. I lived in North Africa, but I lived in Tunisia and actually really enjoyed Tunisia. It was nice. I was there before the revolution, but I was there when Ben Ali was leading the country. And even at that time, 20 years ago, we pointed out that with so many Tunisians being educated and having critical thinking skills and so many university graduates who couldn't find work, this was a boiling powder keg, especially when a lot of Tunisians suspected that the Ali government was using patronage and favors to funnel contracts to family members and things like that. And once the WikiLeaks cables came out from Bradley Manning, or Chelsea Manning now, when he stole that information from the U.S. government off a classified server and then gave it to Julian Assange and they published it, famously, that's when Tunisia blew up. Of course, this was also around the time that the university graduate did self-immolation in the marketplace. But all of that contributed, and look what happened to Tunisia. But yeah, I would happily live in Tunisia, but Cairo, you can have it, man.
Yeah, Cairo this time of year is actually nice. I'm not gonna lie. My time in Egypt, as you know, wasn't exactly fun, but there were good moments. Going to the pyramids and experiencing the Egyptian culture, and also the history that Egypt has is beautiful, and I definitely encourage people to go check that out. The museum, temples, all that stuff. And that's again something you and I spoke about as well. In Egyptian history, there's something very interesting that happened when the Romans took over, when they invaded the Egyptian land and wanted to take it over. What they were doing eventually was they were painting over hieroglyphs, and they were actually tearing down temples
and destroying statues and things like that.
And destroying statues and all that stuff. A lot of the Egyptian historians believe that what is left is only a fraction of what survived the Roman Empire. And if you go to Alexandria, where the Roman Empire was heavily influential in that area, and it's basically the most northern part of Egypt, where the River Nile splits, and then Alexandria is in the middle. Yeah. That area, there are so many temples that there's barely anything left, and what is left is, I remember seeing this one wall that had a thick cement-like material on top of it, and it was painted, their gods or whatever they had at that time, and it was very faded paint, obviously, but you could just see it. And then right next to it, you could see right underneath was like the hieroglyphs of before the Romans painted over it and put this stuff over it. And it's quite sad to see, and it's worrying to me that history is repeating itself right now, taking down all these statues and spray painting over monuments and just it's really sad to see. It's like we didn't learn.
No, absolutely. But I mean, that has been the history of mankind is people come and conquer. They try to wipe out what was there in the past. By the way, Joe, I'm making myself larger. This is my show. I should be as large as you. So
Yeah.
no, but no. So Eureka, of course, for those who don't know, she's famously, unfortunately, dealt with 2 murders in her family. And she's mentioned here about when her husband was
Sorry.
murdered, they kept it out of the press because it would depress housing prices. Yeah, no, the level of violence in South Africa is just, it's off the charts. The lack of respect for life, it's just, you know. But back to your point about Joe, about this covering over, destroying, replacing. Well, for instance, in Carthage, the Romans, they basically destroyed Carthage and built right on top of it. They built Roman city right on top of Carthage, which was an amazing city. But just to get rid of Carthage, they just wanted to get rid of everything, any record of it ever existing. The Byzantines came and then they tried to wipe out the Roman stuff, even though they were Romans, it's very confusing, but so strange stuff there. Hey, let me do a little bit of housekeeping real quick, Joe, and mention some things coming up since we're still going. It's Friday night. You're not going anywhere, are you?
Yeah, I've got this huge party to go to later, so we got to kidding.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So let me do a little bit of housekeeping here. Let people know about
Actually,
some folks.
can I go get a drink? Do you mind if I go get a drink?
Go ahead. Go get a drink, Joe, and I'll tell people what's going on. Okay, while Joe's gone, we're going to talk about him. Now that he's gone, we're going to say things about Joe. No, seriously. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just for those who are still tuned in, quite a few folks tonight, thank you so much for tuning in on a Friday night. Whether you're it's not Friday night in New Zealand, it's 9 o'clock in the morning in New Zealand. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning in Australia, in Sydney anyway. But for folks in Africa, it is evening, and for Europe, it's evening. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being here. 11 o'clock in Munich, 11 o'clock in Pretoria, and 10 o'clock in London and Sheffield. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those here in the U.S., it's a Friday evening, about 5 p.m. on the East Coast. It's still about 2 on the West Coast. Jacques Joubert just subscribed. Well, thank you so much for becoming a subscriber, Jacques. I appreciate that. And for getting the zombie trying to climb the Mahalisberg. Really appreciate that. For those wondering, That's Funny is not just a screen. That's Joe Emilio, a comedian based in South Africa who's just stepped away to get something to drink. I want to do a little housekeeping, let people know. Okay, so coming up on the channel on Chris White Africa, I have Roman Cabanach tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 5 p.m. in Gaborone and in South Africa. So Roman Cabanach will be here tomorrow, and we'll be talking about contemporary events in South Africa, and no doubt talking about Joe's case and also a few other things. So that's I'll let Joe get his earpiece. Okay, all right. Shh. Stop talking about Joe, guys. He's back. Stop talking about Joe. Oh, anyway. So Joe, I was just letting folks know. Is that booze, man? You're drinking booze. It's not on my show. It's a family show. No.
Really?
No, I'm just teasing you. This is not germ warfare. We don't get liquored up here, man. Come on. No, but
well, speaking of that, I have to keep all the alcohol I have left for his show now.
Yeah. So I was saying that tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in Gaborone and Johannesburg, Roman Cabanach will be on my channel from Morning Shot, and we'll be talking about his career and things he's done. That's tomorrow at 11. That's my regularly scheduled Saturday live stream. I do that every Saturday at 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. In Southern Africa. On Sunday, I will be appearing on Loving Life, which is going to trigger some people, and it might excite some other people. But Scott Balson's channel, Loving Life, based in Australia, where he talks about South Africa quite a bit. And I'll be addressing Africa and South Africa as well, but also focusing on my time in Africa, where I've lived all across the continent. That's Sunday. And then Scott will be on my channel next Friday, a week from now. He'll be a special feature, and I'll bring him on, and you'll learn a little bit about him growing up in Tanganyika and then going to school in South Africa. I'll ask him questions about that and also about his channel. So for those who want to be triggered, because apparently Scott's a very polarizing figure, you can watch me on his channel or you can watch him on this channel. And then also I will have Major General Joost. For those who are familiar with General Joost, let me see if I can get this to come up very quickly here. Major General Johan Joost is a South African former infantry officer. Let me see if it'll come up here. There it is. Okay. So you can see him above Joe and I. That's him from LinkedIn. That's his profile. He's currently a project manager, environmental law enforcement security at Peace Park Foundation. Now, he served in the South African military in the SADF and the SANDF from 1971 to 2006. And he worked for BAE Systems, worked for the South African National Park System. And so that's currently what he's doing right now. But Major General Johan Joost, I have not set a date, but we'll get him coming up this week soon. We'll talk about hopefully his experiences in the SADF and the SANDF. and also talk about his experiences in wildlife and parks, which I think is a very interesting topic, given poaching in South Africa, what's happened to rhinos and elephants, and also the importance of national parks in South Africa. So that's coming up. Let me just catch up on the chat while you're out. There's a few other things. Let me see. Tough Gemini says, what's your advice to the bullying frogs in South Africa? Well, Tough Gemini, my advice is something that some people don't want to listen to, and that's you have to ensure, the world has to ensure that 2021 municipal elections happen, and the ANC must be brutally punished at the polls. And I think based on South Africans whom I know of all ethnicities from all over the country, that they will be brutally eviscerated at the polls if it were held today. In 2021, that should still hold true. But the question is, will the elections happen? If the elections don't happen, then South Africa is going to be in deep trouble with the world. Usually I don't make that claim, but really denying democracy is not going to be something that flies very well with the world. Even the liberal elite multinational institutions will have trouble with that. So that's my recommendation to the Bullying Frogs, is you hang on until 2021. I know that Katie Hopkins is trying to help South Africans emigrate, particularly white South Africans. I'm not really pushing for that. I find it tragic that people would want to leave their homeland. And I understand the reasons why. I get it. Also, for the 2.5, 3 million, or 4 million South Africans currently living abroad, I get why they left. Some of them left just for job opportunities. Many left the country because it wasn't safe anymore. And so I get that. Let me see what else. Tough Gemini says, I'm glad you're on Loving Life. He has a huge following, so trigger all you can. Well, thank you, Tough Gemini. I'll see what I can trigger. Sean, Sean says to me, I just checked it out. You're right. Friday is not officially part of the weekend. I cannot believe I incorrectly had a lifetime of longer weekends. No, Friday is not part of the weekend. Yeah. What's that song from Jane Leonie May? Navik Lifey. Navik. So Weekend Life. Yeah, I love that one. Anyway, I love the video too. What else? Okay. Double down. Oh, they will double down if they lose municipal elections. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think that there's some real challenges coming from the NC, but it's tough to give you guys recommendations. So speaking of that, Joe, before we get into it, but I wasn't going to really talk about this, but Ronaldo Hos on his program earlier was quite brutal to, and this also explains something that happened to my channel a few nights ago. One of my longtime subscribers, not channel members, but subscribers, was a little angry with me because I was being lighthearted and jocular on a Stray Volta stream a couple of days ago. It wasn't my usual serious, and analytical stuff. I was talking about events, and I talked about rugby. Like tonight, I'm wearing Utah Warriors Major League Rugby jersey. So I was talking about that, and the subscribers like, I don't want to hear about this stuff. This is serious. Why aren't you talking about serious stuff? And I was very puzzled by that. And a few, I think Sean was one of the people jumped in and started defending me. He said, no, Chris talks about serious stuff all the time. What are you talking about? And the person said, I've been a long-time subscriber. I'm just angry about what's happening. I had no idea. So I did a little searching. I talked to you offline. We talked about it. And we determined that it was probably about the demonstrations that are going to happen on the Day of African Youth. And so it turned out that there was a big demonstration at Parliament in South Africa whining about the Louis Botha statue, first Prime Minister of South Africa in 1910. And so that was what it was. But apparently Sightlanders made a video, which I missed on the 12th, I think it was, last week. And Sightlanders made this video in which they made this appeal, and they frightened a lot of people and told them that the day of the end of days was coming. Basically, I'm embellishing a little bit. I didn't see the video. I saw clips of it that Ronaldo Hose had edited and put together. Anyway, so they scared a lot of people. Basically played, the boy who cried wolf is what it appears to be. I don't know. I didn't watch the video on their site. But apparently a lot of people got triggered by this and very concerned about things. And so that explains why one of my subscribers was kind of torqued at me for not being more serious. I didn't hear about this. And the good news is that the claims in the video didn't happen. And that's good news. So anyway, you and I talked about this, Joe, because I was curious what was going on. I told you about it after that stream. I said, hey, it was a really puzzling situation for me. Remember that?
Yes. Yes, I do. I don't, we figured out that it was nothing really to be alarmed about. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the conclusion we came to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're right. But Tertia asks, does anyone know where one can get a proper N95 mask? Tertia, send me an email. I know a provider, a supplier that might be able to help out. If you're just looking for a single mask, no, because this will be a wholesaler. If you're looking to get a hold of some mask, like for the school or something like that, just send me an email. Go to the About tab, and you'll find my email address there under the channel description. And I know a supplier. I know a couple suppliers so in South Africa.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can get you hooked up with the right person so that you can get what you need there. Sightlanders are crying. Go ahead.
Sorry. Speaking about Scott from Australia.
Yeah.
Because I saw some people were like, "Oh, you need Joe. You should go on Scott's channel and stuff like that." If you want me to be on Scott's channel, by all means, like definitely, like tell him, like comment on his and say, "Oh, you need to speak to Joe," because while Scott does have a lot of South African viewers, he's in Australia, so I don't know if that's worth talking to him or not. I don't know. I'm not against it. And then the other thing is, someone was asking about my vape liquid. I can neither confirm nor deny the source. And that one's for you, Chris.
I'm just laughing. Yeah, no, I get the intelligence community reference, but I'm just shaking my head. This I feel like I'm missing out on like the greatest, not the greatest, but the big thing. I'm like, I'm not one of the cool kids because I don't vape. You know, all you YouTubers in South Africa vape, man. What's up with that? I haven't figured that one out.
Well, I you know what? I never used to smoke before, like in Egypt. You know, drinking and smoking in Egypt is unheard of almost, you know, but the kids do it, you know, behind the parents' back and stuff like that. And so when I came here, I was like 18, 19, and, you know, all the kids here were like, you know, doing house parties and smoking and all that stuff. So I kind of indulged in what I missed out of and, or what I missed out on. And I started smoking, not hectically, only like when I had a drink in my hand, I felt like having a cigarette. And then when vaping started, I was like, I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't like the smell. I don't like the ash. I don't like the aftertaste. And then I started vaping and I enjoy it. That's basically it. And before I forget, I want to say this off topic. You're having Scott. This is funny to me.
Yeah.
You're an American who's having Scott.
Yes.
Okay. I'm an American who's having his arch enemy on my show tomorrow night as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not getting involved in that. I did as a courtesy notify our friend that because he had pointed out that I would eventually. I'll know I made it big. Look at this curl, man. I feel like freaking Shirley Temple. This is crazy. But look at that. That's just it's really distracting me. But I did inform our friend that, of course, our friend we're talking about, folks, is Ronaldo Gotz. And I did tell Ronaldo that I had been invited on the channel because Ronaldo was like, hey, wait, you'll know you made it big. Eventually you're going to get invited on that Australian channel. And I did. They reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like you to come on the channel. I'm like, okay. And so I told him about it. And that rift between those two gentlemen is genuine. Having talked to both of them and gotten both of their views on how and why it happened and where it's at, it's real, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, but listen.
Do you know where it started?
Yeah, but I don't want to get into that right here. That's it's some people know some of it because they followed it for a long time, but it'd take too long to explain it. But it's anyway, it's real. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, so no, but I mean on my channel and like on Joe's channel, we'll talk to anybody, man. As long as they're reasonable and they're not a racist, they're not a bigot, they're not an insurrectionist. You know, we'll be happy to talk to them. Yeah. So that kind of.
I would have Julius on my show. I think that would be interesting. Not that I'm a fan.
I would love to have Julius Malema come on my show just because I would just sit here and shake my head my neck would be sore by the end of the conversation, be like this the entire time. Yikes. Yeah, it's just crazy. Okay, so Christy asked me to ask Roman about, whenever I talk to Roman, I say Roman, but when I see his name, I say Roman. Roman, I need to ask him about vape liquid. Okay, sure, I'll be happy to do that. I love how the South African Afrikaans speakers always type cigarettes with the S. It's kind of funny. I think they do it intentionally. They know it's spelled with a C, but they spell it with an S because that's how it is in Afrikaans. Sightlanders were started by supposed ex-ANC members. I have no idea. Shelley says, I still watch Scott, but he can be a bit over the top and is sometimes given fake news. He tends to jump on the gun sometimes. By the way, folks, so speaking of that, I think, and I hope that people appreciate who tune into this program, that I go out of my way not to present fake news. We all get caught up in, but when I give you information, it's like earlier the Christie was asking about $950 million for Jacob Zuma. Not Jacob Zuma. there's a Freudian slip for Cyril Ramaphosa. Yeah, for Cyril Ramaphosa. Well, same day, different uniform. Change the collar. Anyway, but for maybe Jacob Zuma does have $450 million. I don't know, but no. I like to be factual, and if you watch my prepared videos, you'll see that it's not simply me saying, "Hey, this is what happened today. It was bad," because that just makes me the better dressed chimpanzee. And I can say that about myself, and it's not a racial joke. But God, if I said that about someone who wasn't my skin pigmentation, that would be a racial joke. It's not. Just like the term yard apes has nothing to do with ethnicity. It's for ill-disciplined children jumping around in your front yard. We call them yard apes. We say that about white kids.
What about what they're saying about Cocoa Puffs? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. Is that bad now? Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
they're saying that they're going after Kellogg's Cocoa Puffs because it's racist to have a monkey as a mascot. And Kellogg's has come out and released a statement saying that this mascot has been a mascot because it represents fun. It's playful cereal, and it's been the mascot since 1980.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's before 1980, but yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. No, well, Aunt Jemima's gone. Now they're trying to attack Uncle Ben's. I mean, come on, seriously? Listen, I've lived the world over. I've never once had a bad thought or feeling about any person of color because of Aunt Jemima syrup. I didn't like when they updated Aunt Jemima. They got rid of her kerchief and they made her look like, an 80s woman. But to me, it always represented, a nice, wholesome family, sort of image. And that's what that was to me. How people take offense to that is really anyway. And Uncle Ben's looks cool, man. He's a good-looking guy. He's dressed properly, and it's about rice. Is everything? So what I said is, if we get rid of Uncle Ben's, can I have Viking rice? Of course not, because that'll be racist. Because I'll be promoting white supremacy because it's a Viking, right? I mean, that's the next thing to come. So we all have to be androgynous. There's no gender. We're all hers and his and theirs and its. There's no difference between males and females. No genetic basis whatsoever, hormonal basis. There's nothing we can use that represents anybody. I remember they got rid of the Frito Bandito when I was a kid. The Frito Bandito, because it was discriminatory towards Mexicans. I had no idea it had anything to do with Mexicans. This is a cool little dude. Arriba, andale.
Yeah.
Come on. Relax, man. Get a grip, It's just, it's out of control. This cancel culture and this political correctness is over the top.
Well, that's what they're going to do now. I mean, they're going to look at all these old cartoons. I mean, look at what they're doing. That's basically what they're doing. They're looking at Leon Schuster now.
Well, yeah, somebody mentioned that earlier. They said Leon Schuster movies are being taken off of Showmax. Well, cancel Showmax. Let's start canceling these clowns. We can do without their crappy television and pushing their political agendas. Let them suck it up. I'll tell you what, if only half of us, or 25% of us canceled our Netflix subscriptions, that would have a major impact on them because those shysters take so much money out of our pockets. Yeah, Vitgeva.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Variable Vision says Vitgeva has gone. Paranoia has gone global. It has. White fear or white threat. The white threat. Absolutely. That's the first time I've seen anybody actually use that. Maybe some others have used it. Cocoa Pops. Yeah, Rice Krispies is racist because I guess rice is white, right? But what about brown rice? Yeah, brown rice. Is that Mexican rice? What's the deal?
Yeah, I love that stuff. No, it's weird, man, because again with the cartoons, like I'm waiting for that to happen because Looney Tunes used to use accents, and I remember depending on the animal, they use different accents, and now that's going to come into play. What are you trying to say about this accent? What are you trying to say about that accent? These people will look for anything, and I mean, what are we going to become? What are we actually going to do? There's nothing left to enjoy. You're controlling our entertainment. You're controlling the way we think, the way we do everything. We have to be so careful now when we speak to each other, and people get offended if you say, if I'm with a woman who she identifies as no gender, then if I say this, she likes coffee, they're like, no, I'm not a she. I am a neutral gender today, and look, again, I don't.
Joe,
you can be whatever you want to be.
California has made it a crime to address someone by their preferred pronoun, as if we're supposed to frickin' know what your preferred pronoun is the moment you walk into at a hospital. Healthcare workers who don't address someone by the proper pronoun can be charged with a crime in California.
If you walk in and you got long hair, boobs, and you look like a woman, I'm going to call you she, her, woman. Because if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's going to be a duck, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
guess what they're getting rid of now? They were trying to get rid of and Amazon sold out of it, by the way. They were trying to get rid of Gone with the Wind. So people made a run on Gone with the Wind to buy the Blu-ray and DVD. It's sold out on Amazon because they're trying to not distribute the movie anymore. Now, of course, and I knew this was coming. It's just a matter of time before Blazing Saddles bit the dust. Mel Brooks is Blazing Saddles because in the movie, the N-word is used, of course, by a black man in a hysterical fashion to show how stupid the use of the word was. So instead of learning from something that was quite comical, it's so Blazing Saddles, its time is nearly up. Of course, what will be next will be one of the best comedy movies of all time, and that's History of the World with Mel Brooks, because they disparage Catholics, they disparage Jews, they disparage Romans, they disparage everybody in that movie, and it's actually hilarious. But one of my favorite parts of that movie is when they're talking about the Inquisition and Mel Brooks starts singing, "The Inquisition, what a show, the Inquisition." They got the Jews on the roulette wheel spinning up and they're torturing them. Not exactly politically correct, but hilarious. And actually, I was a young kid when that movie came out. And I didn't know anything about the Inquisition. So what's the Inquisition? So I started learning about what the Catholic Church did in Spain. And it was, anyway, but that's because of that movie. Anyway, just crazy stuff.
No, but this whole thing about the gender thing, I want to make it very clear. I get it that some people may feel this way. They feel for whatever reason that they identify a certain gender or not a gender, or they're bisexual, and I've got no problem with that. But this whole notion that we need to wait until our children are a certain age so that they can decide what they are. I feel like that whole reasoning is flawed. I mean, biology is science, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Biology is, I don't know, human nature. If you have male genitalia or female genitalia, that's where that not defines you, but that's what you are, like gender-wise. I find it very difficult to to have a child and worried that okay, now I might be judged if I say, oh, it's a boy, and then someone asks me, but did you allow it to choose that?
We can all.
We're gonna have conversations like that. I mean, doesn't that scare people?
It should scare people, absolutely. Sorry about that. I was putting something in the background, something politically correct that I put on yesterday, so it started playing. Yeah. Maybe you didn't hear it because it was the screen was off, but yeah, no, it ought to scare people. Let's see. There's a few things over here. Faulty Towers must be canceled. What the hell? What's going on there? What's wrong with Faulty Towers?
Oh, come on.
That's just crazy.
I love that show.
People were talking about Ronaldo, and Bite Your Ankle says, unsubscribe Ronaldo when he decided members only are allowed to chat. I spend every available cent I've got on food. Yeah. Oh, no, I understand what Bite Your Ankles is saying there. So, yeah. Again, just let me point out, for the sake of mention books, the reason I put memberships on here is because people ask for them, and members will have certain, because you have to make things worthwhile for people to want to see it. So there'll be certain things that are available for members only. But I'm not going to turn the chat off. I don't have 1,000 people trying to chat at once, so not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. So people are kind of bashing on Ronaldo right now. That's fine. You guys are welcome to do that. But I'm not going to bash on him.
Shame, he's getting a lot of flack lately, man. He's trying to defend his friend who was accused of, in my situation, accused of being a racist when he wasn't. Ronaldo can be a bit tough, and he might say some things that might piss off people from time to time, but he genuinely is a good guy. I mean, this whole thing with Scott, I don't think people should judge him on that. I think people should try and get to know him and then make a call. But again, if he's done something to piss you off, well, I guess
that's between you and Ronaldo, yeah. But Bite Your Ankle was talking to Tercia and said that I still only join Chris and sometimes Big Daddy Liberty. The reality is that nobody can change things for us. We have to do it. And Chris told us as much. Well, Bite Your Ankles, please sign up for Joe Emilio's channel. Please subscribe to his channel and check out his comedy. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. but check it out and see if you like it.
I think he is subscribed.
I don't know. But anyway, so Christy JVV says, because of the 3 white elves, you said you wanted facts. I missed something there. I'm sure that she's trying to explain, or I assume it's she because it's Christy. If it's Rice Krispies and 3 White Elves. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Explain came later. The Rice Krispies cover with the 3 White Elves compared to the monkeys on Cocoa Pops. Yeah. Well, what about the Keebler Elves? Should I take offense to that? Those are little white dudes. They're little people. Shouldn't little people be upset about that? Come on. And what's with that unrealistic treehouse that they live in? I mean, that's something that ought to be investigated. I mean, that's a serious that's a serious offense to trees. I mean, trees don't look like that. Come on, it's a misrepresentation. Anyway, Hank Kloper says, Joe, a serious question, please. Which rugby team do you support? I don't even know if Joe's a rugby fan.
Springbok.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I think he just gave himself away there. At least he didn't say Bafana Bafana when we're talking about rugby. Or the Proteas. No, because Hank claims that I'm an undercover. I'm a undercover Bulls fan. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Jake White might get something going, but I am through and through a VP, a Western Province Stormers fan. There's no doubt about that, and I'll support some of my favorite players on other teams when they're playing, but not if they're playing Western Province. I don't care. If Billy the Rule comes back and plays Curry Cup and Super Rugby, and he plays for the Bulls, and it's against the Stormers, then I'll be rooting for the Stormers, even though Billy the Rule is among my favorite players. Sean says, I'm going to start self-identifying as a billionaire. Perhaps I can get a government to respect my position. Well, Sean, I've decided to self-identify as a lampshade. That way I'm neutral and nobody bothers me, and I can't say anything controversial. So,
and you shed light on things.
That's right. Oh, thank you, Joe. That was the last point I wanted to make. I shed light on the world. There you go. Yeah, no, Stuart says Vit Kavar is white danger. Yeah, no, I got that. I think I was saying something else.
You did say it.
Yeah. No, but I think when I first said Gavar, I didn't say danger. Yeah, no, Gavar is danger. Yeah. So it's similar to German, by the way. My mic is a dodgy wire. Okay. All right. But you're the only one saying that. Other folks are fine with it, and we play the replay, and it sounds perfectly fine. It might be when I lean back, that sort of thing. Maybe that's what it is. Christy loves Ronaldo. Okay, that's cool. Cocoa Pops has to be rebanded. What color should it be? Purple. Psychedelic purple. Cocoa Pops. I love purple.
I don't know. I that will also be a problem. I don't think there's. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that we can do really. I think we just. I think human beings are trying to find a balance with the way some people feel and the way maybe old school feels, and we just need to find that balance. At the moment, it's going way too much on the one side, and I think we will eventually correct ourselves. I mean, if you look at history, there's been times when we've stoned people, we've done atrocious things to different kinds of ethnic groups and people and our fellow human beings, but we seem to always err to the side of rationale and logic always prevails. And yes, it is a trying times at the moment, but I do think that there is hope for us, and I do think we will self-correct. We always do, because at the end, logic, righteousness, and justice always prevails. So we're figuring it out.
Actually, Hendo has called me out. He called me out for using profanity, and I've been caught. I teased you, Joe, about being a family program, but Hendo said that I said Bafana Bafana, so I'm also swearing now. So.
And you said it again now.
Whoops. Come on, the boys. What's going on?
Swear, John, Chris.
And Tian is I'm getting razzed over the Afrikaans again. So it says Chva. Okay, so purple's offending the aliens. Well, which Gareth, you assume they're purple aliens. Most of the aliens I know are opaque or green. So I don't know what or they come from Mexico, right? Aliens.
Man, you have no idea how badly I want to see like real aliens. And I know you think I'm one, but I'm not.
No. Listen, man. I know Nigerians sell these passports there in Cape Town. You can pick them up for about 300 rand. So I believe you're an American. I saw your passport.
No, I'm talking about the ones that are in spaceships and they fly. And I know you. You just want.
Hey Joe, are you watching the stream with it on mute? Because I have a video I wanted to play real quick before we wrap up tonight. Are you just on Skype? Which is it?
I can see the
stream,
the YouTube thing.
Okay, so I'm going to put this on now. I played this yesterday. If you don't mind, so you and I just listen. You can laugh if you want in the background, but I'm going to take us both off here. I think this is hilarious. Let me get my picture off first, then I'll get Joe's source off, and then I'm going to open this up. Hang in there, folks. This is worth it. Some of you saw this yesterday, but it's hilarious.
A world without injustice.
A world where we can
I've seen this.
bravely
It's
say,
hilarious.
Injustice is bad. Racism is
I was laughing so much at this.
bad.
very bad.
Like, super bad.
You see the one
Over
with
there, I'll be
with
the
the
one
mouth.
to stand up.
To stand up
and say this.
Bad things are bad.
They're awful.
And I don't like them.
I will say something.
I will shout
I will sing.
until
The bad is gone. I will fight injustice.
By posting a black square.
a black square.
I will offer solutions.
Solutions.
Taking away guns or defunding the police.
Like telling working class people just to stop working. To save lives.
Promoting socialism so no one will ever be as rich as I am.
Finally stopping big oil and the big SUV,
Big oil.
big companies, okay?
But we won't stop there.
We will take responsibility.
Responsibility.
The only way we know how.
By showing how much we hate ourselves.
We hate ourselves.
I will.
Reduce my pool time by 5 minutes a day.
Give up chicken nuggets.
I will stop. Wait a minute.
Shave my eyebrows off. I'll do it just like completely.
Throw myself into a volcano. Waterboard myself with gasoline. Peel my skin off with a cheese grater. And lock myself in a box full of scorpions. And launch myself into the sun.
Join us.
Join us.
And let's change the world.
Oh, dear God. I got to get the link here. I had it yesterday. Yeah, it's Allie Beth Stuckey. It's hilarious. That's, yeah, she's, there it is. I'll just give you a link to, this is actually not her, but I'll give you guys this link because people want it. But that is just too funny. I hope people enjoy that. That'll get you there. That may not be the right link, but that'll get folks there. So check it out. Let me get that off, and then I love that the virtue signaling. It's just hilarious. It just shows the stupidity of what's going on here. So let me get Joe back up. All right, there's Joe. Joe's back on the screen now, and then here I am. Anyway, Joe, now you saw the other one where the mouths were redone, but did you see this one, or is that the first time you've seen it?
No, I've seen both.
Okay.
I thought the one with the mouth one was very good as well. That was super funny, and this one I saw as well yesterday, and I was like, "This is brilliant. This is exactly what they're doing." Because like, oh man, when I saw the original thing that they're making fun of, I was like, "Really, guys? Like, I can see your eyes are moving across like this. Like, it's like
Yeah, exactly.
you don't really care."
Well,
Someone
I like when the dude says racism is bad. It's bad. He looks over for the paper. That's just hilarious. That's just hilarious. I got another one for you, Joe. Here, let's do one more real quick here. This is a short one. It's about 28 seconds, and this is some karma. You're gonna like this. It's pretty scary, by the way, folks. This just took place in Louisville. And this is from a black American who's a conservative who's hot full of all this nonsense. So I'm going to take myself off again, take Joe off again, and here we go. So watch this. This is a short one, guys. So stick with me here. Okay, something's...
Anyway,
This I haven't seen.
what I was going to say
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
They're beating her up.
Yes! Play it one more time. So they stop this car and harass this woman. And they're talking smack to her. And then they try to drag her out of the car. So she tries to get away. Look at it, trying to get her out of the car.
Oh, hell no.
They're beating her up.
shit.
Anyway.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. So that's What's the
yo.
nonsense happening in this country as law enforcement abrogates its responsibility to enforce the rule of law in our cities? And it's happening all over the country, unfortunately.
Wow, that was hard to watch.
It is hard to watch, but it is a little bit of karma there for that jackass who got in the way and got flipped over. Yeah, but that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. It's crazy. Hey, Marius Krukamp says Joe Emilio matters. I like that. That's nice.
Thank you.
Oh, and Hank,
I thought he was saying Chris Wyatt and Joe Emilio matters.
No, I think I missed some chat earlier. Hank said Chris Wyatt stream matters. That's kind of cool. Thanks, guys. Don't forget hashtag sack of cock. I want to forget that when we started that sack of cock. Of course, that comes from the famous video of the esteemed member of South Africa's parliament, also its current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, in parliament addressing the opposition leader. Honorable Steenhuisen, when he's speaking a sack of cock, the president. Anyway, so there you go. So what else we got here? What a load of BS. Anyway, listen, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're not a subscriber to Joe Emilio's channel, please go check out Joe's channel. Joe, stick in the YouTube link there real quick again. See if we can't get some more folks to check out your roast and your comedy and learn more about what's going on with your legal situation, which is interesting. Up there, Sean put sack of cock is luckily a family-friendly term. Yeah. Well, it is here in the U.S. People have no idea what you're talking about, but they laugh because when you hear cock, you're thinking of caca, which we all recognize as a polite way of telling children poo, that sort of thing. So anyway, all right, Joe, it's 2 hours. We still got a lot of people, and it's Friday night, but I don't know if we should go longer or if we should just call it a night. What do you think?
I think the party is here, man. So whatever the people want.
Let's do this. Okay, I'll tell you what. I've never drank on my program, but if people want us to go longer, and if you want us to go longer, say yes. And if I see a few yeses in there, I'll go get a Weizen, and I'll enjoy a beer while Joe enjoys his.
Well, I need a refill, so.
All right, so Joe, I'm not going to leave both people from the screen. Okay, Tough Gemini said yes. William says yes. Joe's getting pissed. Let's get pissed.
I've never understood that, by the way. Is that that term, get pissed, right? In America, when you say someone's getting pissed, it means they're getting angry. Or am I mistaken?
Correct. You are correct. That is an English and Irish usage of the language, and it means you're intoxicated, you're blitzed.
Yeah,
you're
I know it now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's telling me to get my beer. Okay, Joe, you stay. I'll go look for a beer. When I come back, then you can look for a beer, okay? You talk to the fans while I'm gone.
Oh, wow. I have control of the show. Yes. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with me as Chris Wyatt. It looks like he is fixing something and going away. Okay, so let's all hide. Okay? Let's just all hide. I'll hide. And then when he comes back, yeah. Jeez. Let's talk about Chris for a bit. Let's see. He looks like Santa Claus to me. He also looks like the Colonel in retirement. And and that's funny because he really is like, the KFC guy. They call him the Colonel. Oh my word! I just realized maybe Chris Wyatt owns KFC. And we don't know this. Okay, he's back. He's putting on his earphones. Shh, don't say anything. Okay, no, he's not. Look at this guy coming in with his draft glass. And, man, I don't even have beer. He's got a Coke. Are you going to mix the Coke and the beer?
What did you do to my show, Joe? How many people left? Did you scare them all away?
No, they're all here. It stayed.
Okay, all right, yeah. I better check my subscriber count. What's going on? Yeah, Joe takes all the credit for members. Not a single person became a member when I was gone, so we know that's all nonsense. All right, so this is a Polana Hefeweizen. That's the good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Not that Castle Lager nonsense. This is real beer. This is real beer. That's right. German Reinheitsgebot.
You don't have you don't have Vintog there.
No, well, Vintog is something you can get in the States, but it's not here locally. I have to get it elsewhere. So, all right. And so for those who know how to pour beer, that's how you do it properly. So you don't get that big head on there.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah, you got it.
So, welcome to the Brewmeister Hour here on Chris White Africa. There you go.
So while you were gone, I want to explain Sean's comment there. He says the Colonel has shares in KFC. I told him that you look like the Colonel from KFC, and I thought maybe you own KFC.
No, actually, KFC, I think, is part of Yum still, which was part of Pepsi. They spun off many years ago. KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell are all part of Yum brands, YUM for Yum, like in Yum. They were part of PepsiCo. They spun them off, and I've never owned shares of that company, although it was a good stock to own for a while, but I've never bought it. So now we've got some more chat coming in. To pour correctly, you tilt it 10 degrees straight into your mouth, says Garrett. Yes, but that I wouldn't be drinking out of my beautiful Polana glass. Look at that. Yeah. Hand carried from Germany to Africa. When I was stationed in Africa, I bought this at a grocery store, which had like a 6-pack and a beer glass. Took it to Africa, didn't break it, and it's made it from Africa back to the States.
Nice.
The Handy Dutchman says he is enjoying an Erdingen Weissbier. Actually, I've been to Erdingen, which is right next to Munich. It's near the airport out by Munich, and they have a fantastic. Their beer is pretty good, actually. But I'm partial to Polana.
Yeah, I'm partial to Windhoek. I'm going to stick with my Windhoek.
No, I like the Coke Lager too. It's the only one I drink in Africa. So William Vandervalt says, "Do I ever sleep?" On occasion. It's.
He's on American time. It's like broad daylight over there.
No, Joe. But they know that like at 7 a.m, I'm online, which is 1 o'clock in the morning here, premiering my videos for South African audience. So, although last night I kind of took the week way out because my video on the City Press op-ed did not air in the morning. I went ahead and did it before I went to bed, and surprisingly, like 15 people in South Africa were up. Like it must have been like 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock watching it. So it was pretty cool. All right, now Joe, you did catch on to something correct there. I will be mixing my beer and my Coke for those who are curious.
No, yes. What's wrong with you? Who does that?
Germans.
No.
Yes.
Oh my word. You've just lost all your members, all your subscribers. They're all going to just leave. See, people are saying no. Holy crap, no. What the? No. Everyone, subscribe and boycott Chris right now. I do not condone this. No. It's like watching Fear Factor. No.
Sean Fulshang says sleep is for the dead. I agree. I'll get that in while we get the nose. Let me see how many nose we got here. Come on.
Good waste of Coke.
You know what I should have done, Joe? I should have done a super chat challenge that said, should I pour the Coke in? If I don't get any super chats, I'll pour it in. That's what I should have done.
Yeah, you should have done that. No, stop him. What did I just witness? Sorry, can't have an ambassador doing that. Wow, you literally turned everyone against you right now.
Ryan Henry says, ew. Yes, okay, Harley, let me explain. Harley says, so they do that in Germany. Okay, let me tell you what's going on here. Okay, it's called a Schussbier. And the first time I ever had it, the first time I ever had it was in 1984 in Bad Kreuznach, Germany, when I was out at a club called the Canopy. And this is when Laura Branigan was big, and she was singing her song Self-Control. If you remember that. Anyway, unfortunately, Laura Branigan passed away far too young. But anyway, so I saw people, I ordered a beer, and I saw people drinking this. I'm like, what's that? Is that like a Guinness or something? Because I was in a nightclub, a disco. I couldn't see it from afar. And I was learning German, and the girl said, are you leaving? Oh, we made Joe leave. I'll wait till Joe comes back to tell the rest of the story. William Kleinhans. Look at all these people who haven't been in the chat are suddenly jumping in the chat here. So Willem Kleinhans, no way, beer and Coke, just no. The world has gone mad. I'm finished. Joe Vindhoek. Rock water and Coke. You guys are too funny here. William says, "Can you become a moderator?" Yes, William. You've been I'll get back to William there. Okay, add moderator. All right, that should. All right, you're now moderator, so you can pick on him for being a prefect. All right, Joe is back. He's got a beer. Okay, I'll wait till he gets his earbuds in again so he can hear us. Okay, 2020. Harley. Okay. All right, Joe. So I was at this club, the Canopy, and I was at disco hanging out, wearing my Sosh clothing, my kind of cool kids back in the day, 1980s. Anyway, so my German was new. I wasn't that experienced in it, and I said, "What's that?" Because I thought it was a Guinness, and they said, "No, it's a Schussbier." I said, "What's a Schussbier?" "Bier mit Coke." I'm like, "Huh? Let me try that." So I ordered one, and it wasn't bad. And I heard a second, and a third, and I think a fourth that night. And by the fourth time, you're like, "Hey, this is pretty good." You get accustomed to it. So yes, the only sacrilege here is that you probably shouldn't use a Hefeweizen for Schussbier. Just use a Pils would be fine. But I'm not a big fan of Pils, so there you go. Doesn't it look lovely? It's beautiful. Look at that color. It's brown, man. Don't you guys like brown? Bunch of racist.
Dude, it looks like you had a very bad night, and then you just, whatever your stomach was containing, you put it in the cup.
That's just mean, Joe. That's just mean.
Someone's asking, what do you mix Coke with, Joe Emilio? I don't mix Coke with anything except for maybe brandy, because that's pretty
Bacardi?
acceptable.
You don't do Bacardi, rum and Coke? You don't do rum and Coke?
Yeah, rum and Coke. I'll do rum and
Bacardi,
Coke.
absolutely.
Yeah. I don't like Coke floats. I think that's disgusting.
No, brandy and Coke go really well together. Another German drink is Osbach and Coke. Osbach is a German brandy, which is, that's good stuff. Osbach Cola. Yeah, no, that one you mix. You got to get the right mix, though. You can't put too much Coke in there or you kill the alcohol flavor. But Osbach Cola is really good. Osbach has these massive, like, few liters, 3 or 4 or 5 liter size bottles that they hang upside down in bars. Really cool with these awesome, medieval style labels on it. But Osbach is a very, ASBACH, Osbach is a fantastic brandy. And I never had it till I went to Germany. I used to drink Osbach Cola in the clubs too. But you don't want to mix your beer and your brandy. I mean, you can. I'm okay. But some people, you mix it one time, that's it. They're out yakking. They can't handle it. But yeah.
And I like mixing vodka and Coke, but only Absolute vodka.
Okay.
Because for some reason, Absolute vodka, that brand goes really well with Coke. And you can have a double and not taste the vodka, which obviously is a dangerous situation. But
so Hendo said shite beer. Are you talking about Castle Lager?
No, we're talking about the beer you're drinking.
And Tertia says her 80-year-old mother drinks it with lemonade. Yeah, that's a shandy. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a shandy.
Yep.
Sprite. My dad did that actually with Sprite. My dad drinks beer with
Sprite does work with that's you're right. That's a good mix with it. Yep.
Yeah. So I've just never. I've seen it with Sprite. I've seen it with orange juice. That's weird. And I've seen it with Coke. You're the first person I've seen drink beer with Coke. And you know what? Usually when you do these house parties with the kids and stuff like that, you end up playing games where you mix drinks. So you'll mix it. There's like a cup in the middle of the table, and then you play a game where at one point someone has to put a bit of their drink in the cup in the middle, so you end up getting brandy, vodka, beer, all this other stuff. That's what yours looks like right now. It looks like a very mixed, vile thing that you shouldn't drink.
Sorry, I just saw a super chat come in from Elizabeth. It's come up on the screen here in a second. It says Elizabeth gave a 30 Rand super chat.
Yeah.
Don't mix it again. It's against her religious beliefs. Listen, I mean, look, if it's like Ronaldo. Ronaldo will do his tap for 20,000 Rand. If you don't want me to mix it, it's going to take a little more than 30 Rand to turn me off of something I've been drinking for 35 years.
Okay.
What
does it taste like? Because you have a mix of beer and Coke, and I'm trying to mix those two in my mind. Like, I'm trying to remember what beer tastes like and what Coke tastes like, and I'm trying to put that together, and I just can't seem to believe that it tastes good.
It tastes fantastic. By the way, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but Sean is a member of the site, and he's a longtime subscriber. He's also with me on LinkedIn, but Sean says, hashtag mixed race beers don't matter. And then Tion says the only thing that goes in beer is a Jägermeister. Gross. Who would put Jägermeister in beer? That's no thanks.
Actually, yeah, no, that's a thing. That's a thing. I've seen that when I was working at a bar. A lot of customers did that. That's a thing.
Nigel says, "Hey, I know who Chris is. The reincarnation of Captain Haddock. That's one I'm lost on. That one I don't know that reference." Well, somebody said something that's out of bounds here. Let me find it. It was funny though. Basically, he said it's brown, but it's still white on top. That's out of bounds, guys. Come on, that's. I guess the ANC would say this is white privilege, yeah, because the white's on top.
Oh, wait. Someone says, Joe, if you can't taste the vodka, too much Coke. No, trust me. I made sure it's a lot of vodka and I still can't taste it. Or maybe I just love vodka too much. Vodka is my favorite spirit. So yeah.
Sorry, Sean. Sean is in fine form here. He says, don't imagine it, Joe. You'll get runny tummy.
I don't need to imagine it. I can see it in Chris's glass.
Here you go, Joe. Drink up, my friend.
Yeah,
it's
man.
good stuff, man. There you go. There you go.
One day, if I visit you in the States, I'll try it. How about that?
Don't kid yourself. You're not leaving South Africa. I'll get there before you get here.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'll have a drink with you when you're here.
Just a matter of days, you're going to be famous for standing up for your rights. So people are going to know who Joe is.
Well, again, if they do, I hope it's for the right reasons.
Well, listen, this much I've got to say. I mean, this is a lot better than a Steri Stumpy. I'm just going to leave it at that.
No.
That's chocolate milk, man. Who drinks chocolate milk? Anyway.
If Ronaldo was watching this right now, I think he would just be like, Chris, you're never welcome on my show again. Like,
why? Because I diss Steri Stumpy? I always give him a hard time about supporting that Italian company. Steri Stumpies are made by Parmalat. That's an Italian multinational food company. Anyway.
Tastes good.
It's chocolate milk, man. It's chocolate milk. Don't get too excited about it.
Someone asked Joe what brought you to South Africa.
That's a good question, Joe. But give the short version, man. We don't have 3 more hours.
The short version is my parents are a mix of French, Greek, Canadian, American, Aztec, Egyptian, and there's a bit of Hispanic heritage as well. And my parents moved to America, and then they had me, and then my dad got a job opportunity in Egypt. We moved to Egypt. My parents got divorced. I moved here with my mother.
Then there's the short version. Cool beans.
Yep.
Nigel says he's always a little intoxicated and gets up to no nonsense. Who's he talking about? Jeremy Nell? I know he's the one that's always, Germ has a good time on his chat. You have to give that to Germ Warfare. He's always chilled. He's always relaxed. He's always enjoying himself on that channel. And I can say, you probably say the same thing of Roman. Roman is always just kind of chill on his channel, even when it's a serious topic.
That is true.
Oh, Captain Haddock is a character in Tintin. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I know Tintin. Okay. Of course, it's spelled Tintin, but it's French. No, it's Tintin. That's French.
Yeah, that's the French version. I know. My mom's French.
That's where it comes from. It's Tintin.
Yeah. It's Americanized now.
Tough Gem. No, the Americans really don't know what that is. Tough Gemini. I mean, some Americans know, but usually just those privileged white people. That's the only ones that know about it. So the ones that live in Cape Cod, in the Upper West Side. Tough Gemini says Germ always looks very chilled. He never offends anyone. Yeah, wow, he never offends anyone. I think Germ says some provocative things, but I'm just saying he's pretty mellow. He's very mellow. I think it's almost as if he's like Daga boy. It's like he's like smoking weed before he comes online.
Hank says all of that, but Jeremy, you seem Mexican. Well, that's the thing. When you mix all these countries together, you get a guy that looks like the love child of Jay Leno and George Lopez. So.
Oh dear God, that's a scary thought.
You're looking at it.
Now, William says Tintin sounds better, but I really don't know what he's saying. Is it Tintin or Tintin? Because get you online. Lynn is here. Hey, Lynn, good to see you. I hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you. Did you just pop in because it's late at night? Joe Emilio stole my show. I had to make myself bigger because he was too big on the screen. And then, he's been drinking beer, so I had to combat that with a Schuss beer, which got a round of condemnation for my drinking of this beer here. Not that I was drinking beer, but that I had the sacrilegious nature to mix it with Coca-Cola. And apparently that didn't go over very well. I just looked. I lost 700 subscribers, Joe. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, they all came to my channel.
Yeah, because we all know you can only subscribe to one channel on YouTube. It's such a restricting thing. Yikes,
yeah,
actually.
tequila. I like tequila. It's dangerous, but I like tequila. You know what happens here in South Africa is like sometimes you get like a 15 rand tequila shot in some bars, and that's very dangerous. For you, that would be like what, like 50 cents.
15 rand, yeah. Well, it would be more than a membership on my site cost. Oh, there's a little plug for memberships. It's 10 rand at the entry level. It's only 10 rand. I mean, who misses 10 rand? But no, well, it's funny you should mention that, Joe, because when I lived in Liberia, one of the things that was interesting, because I knew this gentleman who had a local distillery there. He's an Indian fellow, married to African, and he used to make these little, like, if you remember, like in restaurants in the States, Joe, you have those little packets that have like ketchup in them, little tiny small ones. So you tear the plastic at the top and you squeeze the ketchup out, sort of thing. Those things, those would be filled with booze, with like gin and vodka and scotch and things like that. The reason is because that was the size that people could afford to buy because they didn't have money. So he made a fortune off of selling booze in these little rip packaging. You get like a little shot. Anyway, yeah, it just reminds me of that. It's funny. William says, I love the way Chris pronounces Afrikaans words with a G. Hose sounds like hose. It does sound like hose.
Yeah, house.
It's not spelled house, man. Come on.
House.
Is spelled H-O-U-S-E.
House.
Dude, it's Ronaldo Hose.
Ronaldo Hose.
You're gonna force me to be triggered with my Hemsbach. My therapy Hemsbach right here. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Calm me down. It's all right, Wilbur. Don't worry about it, Wilbur.
Why do you call it Wilbur? Do you mean Wilbur?
Oh, touche. That's a good one, Joe. Okay. So, Joe, tonight's stream has turned into just a bunch of cock nonsense here. What happened to my show, man? What did you do?
We're just having fun. I like what Sean says. Joe, I was going to buy you a coffee when I come to Cape Town post-apocalypse. But I changed my mind. We are having vodka shooters and 10-10 chasers. With 10-10 chasers. See, okay, Chris, now you just put on a hat. We need to have a serious conversation about this hat, okay? You need to send me a hat.
Dude,
please.
I'm sending you subscribers. You're greedy. You want everything.
I want the hat.
Actually, yeah, no, I'd like to get a few more of these so I could share with friends, which wouldn't include you, Joe, but with my friends. No. No,
come on, you can ship it.
Oh, yeah, the shipping is so inexpensive. DHL, $65, yeah.
I'll pay.
Oh, okay.
Just tell me how much the hat is. Tell me how much the hat is.
Actually, it's funny you mention that because Ronaldo Hose owes me a hat. And now he doesn't owe me. It's not like he's negligent. It's me because I offered to pay for the shipping to get my hat for membership. But yeah, so here you go for folks in case you're curious. Trump in 2020. Woohoo! There you go. Yeah, look at that orange. That's a good House of Orange, traditional South African color for the Orange Free State, the Dutch House of Orange. Keep America Great with the lovely Duck Dynasty camouflage pattern on it, not even army camouflage. And then on the other side, of course, the Old Glory, the U.S. flag, which I spent the bulk of my life supporting and defending, protecting. Let's see what else. Let me see. There's some comments over here. What happened to Raz of Chaz? Tough Gemini. Raz of Chaz. Well, he has to be Raz of Chop because now it's Chop. They realized that they were being insurrectionists and that they were going to wind up with a long federal prison sentence. So they backed off of the Chaz and changed it to Chop. They're no longer declaring their autonomous independence. They're just relaxing. It's the summer of love in Seattle. And I hope that they enjoy their feces and their lovely drugs and physical abuse and all the lovely things that come along with that. Anyway.
See, people are asking, where can we get one of those caps?
Well, that was okay. Look, the Trump campaign did a fundraiser, and it was offered as one of the fundraiser things. I get emails every day. So I made the mistake of contributing to a political campaign when John McCain was running. Or was it Newt Gingrich? It might have been Newt Gingrich. No, it was Newt Gingrich in 2012 because I was so hotful full of all this nonsense with politics and with Barack Obama's leftist obsession and his racialization of American society that I contributed to a political campaign for the first time ever. And that's funny because I ran a political campaign when I was at university and got my friend elected to the city council. But anyway, so I contributed to a campaign and for Newt Gingrich, who's disappointed me in some ways after that. But anyway, long story short, I get a bazillion emails all the time from Republicans and conservative causes trying to get me to donate stuff. I get them from the Trump campaign. I get text messages. So I got this message in my email, and I looked at it. It says you can get a hat by making a $25 donation. I'm like, cool. And this hat was really awesome. So I never got a Keep America Great hat because I was a reluctant Trump supporter in 2016. But I am in the tank for the Orange Wonder. Orange Man Bad is my man in Washington. That's right. I am in the tank, ladies and gentlemen. Unashamedly in the tank for Donald Trump 2020. Trump 2020, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I already voted for him in the Pennsylvania primary. That's right. By the way, he got more primary votes in Pennsylvania than Barack Obama got. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Anyway, so Donald Trump. That's right. So yeah.
Let me piss off my my arch enemy and say,
don't do it.
I'm voting for Trump.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh.
I did it.
But listen, Joe, I'm not going to get into this. I don't want to. But you're kind of like Jorge Ramos, man. Make up your mind. You vote in South Africa, you vote in America. That's cock. You can't vote in two countries. You have to decide.
Yes, I can. I have dual citizenship.
There's no such thing as dual citizenship. You got passports.
There is.
No, it's nonsense. It's not recognized by.
I have both passports. I have the South African.
Jorge Ramos thinks he's better than me because he gets to vote in two countries, and he's entitled to that. So I have one thing to say to Jorge Ramos. You're full of it, buddy.
Dude, I have both citizenships, and I am allowed to vote at both countries. I'm going to vote in South Africa, and I'm going to vote. Is it true that I can vote at the American embassy here?
No, you can't vote at the embassy. They don't take votes. You have to absentee vote. So you have to send in and you need to start doing it now, Joe. You need to send in whatever state you're a resident of, send in an absentee ballot request. As long as you're registered in that state, you're good to go. If you're not registered in the state because you've been overseas for so long, I'm not sure the process, but the American Embassy can help you out. With the consulate actually will be able to help you out and give you advice, or just go online and look for, American expatriates. How do you register to vote absentee? Because you're only going to be able to vote absentee. Sean says the stream is turning into a sack of cock. Well, I think you are correct.
Joe, Joe, so if the U.S. and SA go to war with each other, who would you fight for? Well, you see, this is like watching the Soccer World Cup. I never know.
That's easy, Joe. I can tell you who's going to win every soccer game that's a FIFA sponsored. All I have to do is find out which official got the bag of cash, the sack of cash, or sack of cock, and I can tell you by just having dinner with them who they're going to give a red card to and a yellow card to throw the game. Piece of cake. FIFA, the most corrupt organization in the world after the Democratic Party and the African National Congress.
That's pretty, yeah. Stop swearing, Joe. Soccer cease, man. I don't know if South Africa and America went to war with each other, which, I mean, it's a no contest, to be honest. Chris, you know who's going to win if that ever happened.
Sure, Texas.
Yeah, exactly. But
by the way, Joe, you know that there are patriots defending the Alamo right now. I'm not being facetious. You know that these scuzzballs want to destroy the Alamo.
Yeah,
but
they want to destroy.
There's actually patriots 24/7 standing guard at the Alamo right now. Private citizens protected from these scuzzballs.
Well, you told me the other day that there's civilians and people protecting the monuments in Washington D.C. and all those areas of the Abraham Lincoln Monument, and rightfully so. I mean, those things need to be protected, man. And I salute those civilians that are protecting them.
Patriots,
but if
true patriots,
patriots. If USA and South Africa went to war, it's a tough one because I love both countries. I really do. I think I would be Switzerland, and I'd be like, let the best man win.
See, that's not acceptable. And this just goes back to my whole point. You can't be a national of two countries. You can't owe fealty to two states. You have to pick your choice. You can't have both. By the way, what's Joe keeps sticking his channels in here, man. What are you plugging your channel? I didn't give him permission for that.
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Sorry, I got liquored up on Shakespeare. I forgot what I said. No, but Willem Kleinhans asked, what's the likelihood of Trump winning the 2020 election? I think it's very good likelihood that he will win the 2020 election. However, we have some serious concerns in this country because states like California are attempting to defraud the American public and the nation by issuing mail-in ballots for everyone rather than giving people the opportunity to come to the balloting station. And that puts the election in jeopardy to fraud. Now, California is a place that Trump is not going to win anyway. If you look at in 2016, Hillary Clinton won 8 million votes there. He won just over 4 million. So if you look at the margin, of course, the left only remembers, well, Trump lost the popular vote. Yeah, because of one state. You take California out of the equation, and Trump wins the nationwide popular vote by 2 million votes, 1.9 million votes. So California doing this won't affect the outcome of the election because Trump's not going to win in California. But it's something that other states are trying to do. They've been sued by the Republican National Committee and by the California Republican Party and Governor Gavin Newsom, the lunatic that he is, the former mayor of San Francisco, that crap hole of a city, which used to be a glorious city. Anyway, so we'll see what happens there. But I think Trump is going to win. Oh, by the way, hey, Joe, I showed you that picture. And not everybody saw it. I think I only showed it to my subscribers or my members. Space Force. Remember the flag, Joe? Should I get the Space Force flag and show everybody? Should I go get that?
You showed it to me, yeah. Show it to him.
Okay. Joe, don't be stealing my channel, man. I'm losing more subscribers.
Okay. He's actually gone to get the... I thought he was going to show a picture of it. Sorry, guys. So what should we talk about while he's gone? Should I show you guys a magic trick? I've been actually trying to broaden my horizons with career because, I recently got forced into minimal options because, there's the thing. Okay, so now Chris is going to interrupt my magic show that I was trying to do for you guys. And this is called the one-handed card shuffle. Oh, look at that. I did it. And there's the space thing. Doesn't that look like Star Trek? You guys have to agree with me that it looks like Star Trek. And now every single nerd is
of course it looks like Star Trek. That's the whole point. By the way, that came from China. It was promised to me in July and it arrived yesterday, so it was a bit of a surprise. William Vanderveld is asking how California is doing at the moment. Well, William, I would say that California is in a lot of trouble because of their insane policies that encourage lawlessness and their tolerance for things that should not be allowed. The cities of California are inundated with homeless people who have flooded their streets. And, of course, they blame that on the economy. Of course, an economy that had the record low unemployment rate across the company. I see that Sean comment coming after that. I'll get to it in a second. But, yeah, that's why you're laughing. Anyway, but, California is a disaster. People are fleeing California in droves. That's been what people said for years, but it's actually true. California, after the 2020 census, is likely to lose at least one congressional seat for the first time in over a century. It's actually losing seats because people are fleeing California, despite the endless stream of unlawful, illegal migrants coming in from other parts of the world. All right, so Sean says the legal age for drinking beer in Germany is already so low. Shush beer. It's schuss, not shush. Schuss beer. Must be for baby bottles. Actually, beer's a good thing. Well, I'm not going to encourage that. Somebody might do it and get in trouble giving it to their kids. But anyway. Tough Gemini saying the homeless of the U.S. could take South Africa. Maybe. Who knows? Because of the dodgy beer, we get a dodgy magic show. I will agree, Hendo. That was a lame magic show. I mean,
I didn't have a lot of time. I don't know.
You got to be prepared for these things, man. I thought you were a performer. Now he's vaping. I still don't understand the vaping thing. Anyway.
I need my nicotine fix. Okay, so a magic trick. I don't know a lot of magic tricks actually. I've been just working on the shuffling because I really like the shuffling of it, if I'm honest.
Let's see. It is now hang on, where are we at? It is now after midnight in Pretoria. Do you know where your children are? When I was a kid, that used to be the thing, on television, the three networks that come up. It's now 9 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Joe, that's like super lame, man. Don't do that ever again on my channel. You'll be banned.
How is that super lame, man? That's a one-handed shuffle.
William apparently is not drinking schuss beer or brandy or anything like that. So he's asking real questions here. Nigel is off to bed. Nigel is done pretty good for a 67-year-old. Thanks for sticking with us, Nigel. It's also great to see you get credit for your membership with the little house and tree there. So thanks for getting off your iPhone, your rich white. Speaking of things you can't say, this actually happened to me at the War College. I always talk about Apple. Stop with the Apple, the magic tricks, man. Come on, hang on. But at the War College a couple years ago, one of my peers said to me, because I've always described Apple products as rich white people toys. And that used to be really funny when only rich white people owned Apple because they were so uber expensive. Back in the 70s and 80s and early the 90s. But now everybody's got an iPhone all over Africa. So it's not quite as funny as it once was. So I was joking with my students and I said, yeah, you guys, I have a Samsung. You guys have those rich white people toys. And one of my colleagues says, Chris, you can't say that. I said, why? Because people might find it offensive. So what's offensive about it? Is Apple upset? Did I disparage Apple? Did I disparage white people? What are you talking about, man? Anyway, so yeah. So there you go. Apple. Stop taking bites at Apple. Sean's trying to be funny there. We got the joke, man. Stop taking bites at Apple. That's a good painkillers kicking in. Yeah, but anyway, so thanks for being with us tonight, Nigel. Nigel's heading off to the rack at midnight. The clock has struck. He's turning into a pumpkin. Anyway, or his glass slippers is coming off, something like that. So thanks for being with us, Nigel. Really appreciate it. Thanks for, again, being a member of the site. Really appreciate that. Every day I'm shuffling. That's a song. Every day I'm shuffling. That's a great song.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Space Passport. That would be awesome. And an unsub from. You guys are not fun. Okay.
Yeah, but Sean says shuffling is not magic. Desperate much. Yeah, well, I'm learning.
Well, actually, ladies and gentlemen, so for those who don't realize that this, Giselle and many of the longtime subscribers and now members will know. No, that is not mine. That is Jason Renicky. And Jason is absent. I haven't seen when I don't play Giselle, when she's not here, Jason's not here. There seems to be a very strong correlation between fanboy Jason and Giselle. So, not to pick on Jason. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of Giselle. I get that. I'm a huge music fan of hers. But Giselle's manager and husband is Johan Eisel, who is South Africa's premier magician and illusionist. And famously, for those who don't know, he actually made the Voortrekker monument disappear. Poof, made it disappear. And of course, I've always asked Johan, I said, did the ANC offer you a ministerial position because they were happy with your outcome? But unfortunately for Johan, they pulled back the offer of making him the Minister of Uncooperative Affairs and Uncooperative Governance and International Affairs, and instead gave it to Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma because the Voortrekker monument returned. It was just an illusion. He didn't really make it disappear. So he didn't get that job.
Too bad.
So Sean says...
Juggle?
Sean, can you juggle?
Someone's asking me if I can juggle. No. I can skateboard. Or at least I used to be able to skateboard. I don't know. I'm a very, I don't know. I can't. I used to be able to do so much. I used to be able to skateboard before I was in a motorcycle accident. The only thing I can do now is design work and make jokes.
Joe's saying, I could have been a contender. Could have been a contender. Let's see. So Sean says, clearly Chris regrets not buying Apple. Not at all, dude. I bought plenty of stocks in their day and was fortunate to pick the right ones and stick with them for the right amount of time. Yep, no regrets on Apple. The one stock I do regret not buying was Amazon. I had several opportunities to buy Amazon, but I didn't for a number of reasons and could have been super rich now. I could have been Cecil Rhodes rich. They could have been tearing down my statues in Cape Town. Wouldn't that have been cool? Anyway, Sean also says, have you ever seen Jason and Giselle in the same room? No, I haven't.
Keith Alderson says, Joe, just fight for the winning side. Stop complications. I'm confused.
Yeah, well, maybe we haven't enough to drink. I need another Schussbier.
Please don't do that again. Our eyes are already tormented with the first image. Now, guys, please, can we just, if you don't want to see Chris mix that again, can you please all just say no and threaten subscriptions?
Well, I could do like Ronaldo and turn it into a super chat challenge. We'll see. Actually, this would be the perfect time for super stickers because you could put like a or something like that super sticker up there. So William says, have I seen that the Cecil Rhodes statue is likely to be removed from Oxford University? Yeah, I've seen talk about that. It's just they've lost their minds, absolutely lost their minds. So what's next? Is Wellington coming down? Are we going to take a statue of Wellington down because he was unkind to the French? Crazy. Shelly says you're laughing. She's sending your therapy bill if he does it again. Well, what I suggest, Shelly, is that you get yourself a therapy Hemsbach. They're very comforting. So here you go. Here's my Hemsbach.
Juicer, who gave a 14 super chat, says, "Drop beer, hit whiskey." And if I had whiskey, I would have had some. I would have poured some whiskey. Thank you for the super chat, though, on Chris's behalf.
Dude, you butchered that. That's Just a Ghost. That's the cool name. Just a Ghost has the coolest name on all of Just a Ghost. So let's see.
I see that now.
Rusk. Sean is vaping magic. Cute. Is he allowed on flights? Shelly wants to know if my Hemsbach is allowed on flights. Actually, he is. And actually, you should buy Africa products if you're in Africa. This is actually made in Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, born in Africa, my Hemsbach. I've got a Springbok. Is he here? He's somewhere. And I've got several other ones from this collection. They're really nice. I actually got this at Botswana Crafts, which is a gift shop located in Gaborone, not too far from Airport Junction. And I'm hoping to interview the guy that owns that or his son sometime soon. I'm reached out to Botswana to try to get someone to get him to come on and be a guest on the program. By the way, for folks, I think most people here that have been here for a while know that tomorrow my guest is Roman Kabanek, the host of Morning Shot, a daily news program in South Africa on YouTube. And Roman will be my guest tomorrow. And so that should be interesting. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. in Gaborone and in Johannesburg. And I see Joe is dying to show us his Pringles, his artificial potato chips.
It's show and tell. No, I wanted to actually get your opinion on this. So I discovered this the other day, all right? Now, I'm not saying that all Pringle cans are like this, but I want to get your opinion on this, right? So this I bought, obviously, from the shops. And then the other day I realized that it's labeled. Like there's a sealant. You can see it's coming out here. That there's like a whole label over it. So I was like, why is there a label over a Pringles bottle? And then when I unwrapped one, look what I found.
Chinese. They're not even real Pringles. It's fraud.
It's Korean.
Oh, it's Korean.
It's Korean.
Oh, is it Korean?
I'm going to get in trouble now for doing that accent.
No. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you racist.
What? How weird is that?
Well, if it's Korean, the odds are it's probably legal. It might be legal. I mean, that happens. License or Pringles makes them there. But if it's Chinese, you're probably eating cardboard. Although when you're eating Pringles, you are eating cardboard to begin with. So what's the difference? Having said that, I have enjoyed Pringles throughout the years. Let me see. There's a couple things here I want to catch real quick. Sean said, Chris, we need a Skype session to work on your G's, man. Actually, yeah, Sean and I do that. But let me ask this question. We've still got over 46 folks still tuned into the show, despite the hour and the fact that people have real serious triggering issues with my beer. But let me ask this question. Listen, folks, I did the one call-in show just to test it. And what do you guys think? Would you like me to do more call-in shows or do it again where, folks get to call in? Subscribers and or members get to call in and we bring you into the chat. Joe says, Joe, you don't get a vote, man. You're already on. Stop hogging the show. Anyway, but if you guys want me to do call-in shows, say yes, and I'll look at maybe doing a regular call-in show just so we can let people vent and get it off your chest. And you can pretend to be whoever you want. You can wear a mask, but just don't wear the Chewbacca mask that Joe has. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Hendo says once a week. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe once a week, Hendo. Oh, God, I had to mention that mask. There it is. Okay. When he moves his mouth, it's really scary. So, oh, geez, there it is. Sean says, good idea. I'd laugh if he spilled the beer all over the place. Just open up a can of fraudulent whoop ass. There's their illegal Jameson whiskey that's also wrapped. Yeah, somebody was saying they don't want something. They want cigarettes. Yeah, listen. There are cigarettes available in South Africa. They're illegal. Tax money. Sin tax is not going to the government. And who knows the origin of those cigarettes? What did I miss? Somebody said something like baking Pringles.
Yeah. Tion says yes, but no Coke beer.
Punisher says vape with the mask on. That'd be funny. Jared, the mask makes you look 20 years uglier, Sean says. Boy, Sean is in rare form tonight.
Yeah, Sean, you know what? He's taking some points because he was watching the roast earlier, so he's taking some pointers.
Okay, so Sean's just recirculating old jokes from a previous stream. Now he's been exposed for the fraud that he is tonight. Illegal cigarettes came down in price. Shelley, I'm not going to ask you how you know about that.
Well, I mean, it's quite obvious, isn't it? Like,
well, it's only obvious if you're buying illegal cigarettes. I don't know what the price of illegal cigarettes are in South Africa.
I know my neighbor told me that. Okay, this was a week ago. My neighbor told me that buying a pack of cigarettes for 230 rand, which apparently is the most expensive at the time. So if they've come down in price, that means they were 230 and now they're 225.
Huh. Now, Martin Moll asked me, hey, good to see you there, Martin. Chris, have you got Feldcons? I don't know what that is. What is Feldcons?
Feldcons.
Feldcons, yeah.
Feldcons.
I don't know what that is, man.
Don't you know what Feldcons is?
No, I don't. Stop teasing me. What is it?
He just gave you like the biggest insult ever in Afrikaans. Like, you have no idea. And I'm surprised that you don't know it, being that you're so familiar with South Africa.
Oh, okay. No, I'm Kalfoot Soki. I'm walking barefoot. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's those heritage suede farmer grape farmer shoes.
In this country, that's only worn by pretentious leftists, so I don't wear them.
Everywhere.
Okay. All right, just say yeah. Okay. Okay. Actually, thank you guys. I actually did know what it was, but I was drawing a senior moment there, drawing a blank. But now there was pointing out, yeah, traditional Afrikaner footwear. Yeah. No, but honestly, they're only worn by pretentious lefties in this country, so I don't have shoes like that. No, I do have lots of khaki boots from my army days, which weren't that long ago, within the past calendar year. Hipster leftists, yeah, hipsters. Hipsters are fun.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. So what do right wingers wear? Combat boots and 9mm.
And swastika tattoos.
No swastikas and no tattoos. You know, it's really sad because I don't know if you guys know the story about the swastika. Swastika is an old Indian. It's also used in Scandinavia, but it was an old symbol. And what happened was actually Hermann Goering went to Denmark and he saw that, and because it was used in Denmark, and he said, this is pretty cool. And so the Nazis adopted that, the Hakenkreuz, as it's called in German, and it has a terrible reputation. But if you go to the Carlsberg Brewery, and this is why you can't erase history because it's just pathetic. But if you go to the Carlsberg Brewery in Copenhagen, you do the tour, which, by the way, is the best brewery tour I've ever done, hands down. It was amazing. Now, that's also influenced by the fact that when I went there in 1985, the tour guide was a Danish officer who had fled from Denmark to the UK and became an RAF pilot and fought against the Nazis. So he had lots of awesome war stories. But if you walk into the brewery, as you come in, there's two elephants, stone elephants carved on both sides of the wall as you enter on each side of the street. And they have Hakenkreuz on a blanket across. They have the swastika on a blanket across. And he explained to us that, because he fought the Nazis, it has nothing to do with the Nazis. This was an Indian symbol of luck, and that's why the Danish adopted it from the Aryan race. But because of the tie of the Aryans and the mythical, white Aryan race, the Nazis liked it. So they tarnished forever the concept of the swastika, which is really sad that they appropriated someone else's culture and ruined it.
A lot of symbols in modern day actually had very good or somewhat good meaning back in the day when they were first created. But, unfortunately, a lot of the heinous crimes that were done using those symbols have tarnished their meaning completely, which is, like you said, very sad. Pretty soon, I think the bald eagle might have a negative connotation because, if the lefties get their way, they'll be like, we can't use an eagle anymore in any of our coins or flags because that's a symbol of oppression. I hope I'm not giving any ideas. I just realized.
Well, the eagle, of course, is a symbol of empire. Didn't you know that?
And you're not helping, Chris.
No, and I'm not going to help because I'm going to smack these turds down. Doc Martens. Yeah, the Punishers and Doc Martens. Hank says he stopped smoking at $4.50 a carton. Ooh, yikes. 700 for super match. Ooh, geez, 1,000 for Batsa.
Yeah, look at all these prices that are coming out.
Well, again, it depends where you are in the country and how close you are to the illegal suppliers. And how much demand is. The Brits are only racing against French because they were ruled by them for 300 years. Conversely, Keith took that out. No reason to take. There's no reason to delete that. One of my moderators deleted Keith Alderson's comment. There's no reason to delete that. He wasn't advocating racism. He was being, telling a joke. And what Keith had put in there, I just noticed it got deleted. Said that the British are only racist against the French because they're ruled by them for 300 years. There's a long history between the French and the British, and there's a lot of genuine dislike and hatred, but also friendly, game playing, because much of France was occupied by the Brits for centuries because of intermarriage and such, and vice versa. So, yeah, anyway. No, it's okay, William. You don't have to apologize. Listen, I like to keep the discourse going, and occasionally moderators are trying to do the best thing, and sometimes they take something off. So, for instance, in a stream several days ago, UCN, who I think is a black South African based in Hong Kong. I know he's in Hong Kong, but I think he's a black South African. Whatever the case is, UCN, or he's a liberal from South Africa, white liberal, one of the two. But UCN, I put a comment out there, and one of my moderators who's here tonight deleted the comment, and I saw it in my thing. It said delete the message, so I opened up because I can see that, of course, it's my channel, and there was nothing offensive to it. It was just that the person was saying something counter to the current argument. I'm okay, ladies and gentlemen, if people have something counter to what we're saying. As long as people aren't abusive, it's okay. So for my moderators, if someone's being abusive, thank you for making sure that disappears. We don't want a racist or a bigot or a homophobe. All the things apparently Joe supposedly is. We don't want them. We don't want them. Disrupting the because we have. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. By the way, here we are, 2 hours and 48 minutes into this this sack of cock conversation tonight with the good beer on this end, and I don't know what Joe's drinking. It looks like some cheap thing from SAB, but.
That's rich coming from you right now. Who did a sacrilege of adding Coke to their beer.
But what I want to say seriously, in a moment of seriousness, is thank you all so much. Listen, the discourse in our chat is pretty good. I mean, there are very few badly behaving people who show up in our chat. So thank you all so much for that. Whether we have 20 people or 50 people or 100 people, the discourse is almost always pretty good. Occasionally we have a few people misbehaving. And now that I've got several moderators, people take care of that. But thank you so much. I've seen other places in which the chat gets really out of control and people misbehave. Also, to my moderators, if you're the ones that have been policing up the comments on videos on my website, thank you profusely for that. There are nasty, nasty things that have been said in response to some videos, and also to other members or other subscribers who write something and some disgusting person comes down and says it. And I have not seen a lot of these. I went through and looked at comments held for me to review or delete that have been removed by a moderator, and I was appalled at a few things that some people said. This one guy named Sam, I don't ever want to see that person on my site. This person clearly hates South Africans, and it's just really disgusting. So thank you to my moderators who caught that. I really appreciate it. So I just want to share that. It's you got to let people know if they're doing a good job. Moderators, you're doing a fantastic job. People who are subscribers and members in the chat, you're doing a great job. Ask the questions, ask the hard questions, and we really appreciate it. So let's see. Defund the police. Gareth is just trying to be funny, I think.
Wait. Joe, I'm thinking, what's worse than Sice beer? Sushi beer. Is that a thing? Sushi beer?
No, I'm sure it's not. It sounds gross. I think that was the point. I just turned my stomach. First off, okay, in interest of full disclosure, I don't eat sushi, raw fish. Ugh. I was in Japan for a month last year. I was in Japan. It's disgusting, man. Come on.
No, it's not. It's delicious.
It's like eating boogers, man. What's the heck? Come on.
No, it's not. It's so tasty and nice, and it's good for your brain too. Electrolytes.
Yeah,
it's the best thing ever.
All right. Okay.
No,
but I was in Japan for a month last year.
Okay, so you put Coke in your beer. Wait, no. You put Coke in your beer, and you don't like sushi.
So Joe's going to come to my channel and diss me. You're banned. Listen, no, I don't eat sushi. I was in Japan for a month last year, and I didn't have sushi once. I did have a lot of curry and McDonald's and also JS Burgers. Oh my God, JS Burgers in Japan rocks. An amazing restaurant in Japan. They've got them in all over the place. Really, really good stuff. Nice chain, nice upscale, decent prices, and great food. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, wait. I want to ask you a few questions because I got to know.
All right.
Are you the kind of person that puts when you have flapjacks or pancakes, sorry, when you go to like IHOP, right? Do you have the bacon on the pancake and then put the syrup on top and then eat it both together, eat it all together? Or do you do that?
I might as well put it in a blender. That's disgusting.
Okay, good. Okay, so, but are you the person, are you the type of person?
First of all, I don't go to IHOP. We'll start with that, but anyway.
Well, at the time when I was in the States, IHOP was the place to be, but obviously not anymore. But, okay, do you put ketchup on your pizza?
That's disgusting.
Okay, do you put pineapple on your pizza?
That's normal.
No, it's not normal.
That is normal. Hawaiian
You're doing
pizza,
so well, Chris.
Hawaiian pizza rocks. I don't want this.
No.
I don't want this Ronaldo Ho's anti-Hawaiian pizza nonsense on my channel.
No. All right, wait. Marmite. What's your Marmite? Like Marmite?
Have you ever tasted Marmite?
Yes, it's disgusting.
It is quite disgusting, and so is Vegemite, which is essentially the same thing, but it's craft food. You know, people think Vegemite is an Australian invention. No, it's Kraft Foods who created it for the Australian market. But of course, they think it's Australian because of Men at Work. And have a Vegemite sandwich. Yes. What's you see something in the chat there?
Yeah, the French put raw egg in the middle of their pizzas.
I've seen hard-boiled eggs put in pizza, but not raw egg. I've never seen that.
Oh, weird. Who would do that? Okay. What was the other thing that I was thinking of? Okay, so I can't remember now. But I've seen this trend. They do it a lot in Egypt, where they put ketchup on the pizza, and I don't know why.
I don't know what that's about. But pineapple with ham is perfectly normal on a pizza.
If you can put pineapple on a pizza, you can put Coke in your pizza.
That's right. Thank you, Sean.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm starting. Like, okay, so you like the weird stuff. That's fine. But you don't like sushi.
That's normal. Sushi's weird. Do you eat puffer fish?
I've never had puffer fish. I'm willing to try.
I would like to know who the heck was the person that came up with the concept of eating puffer fish. Clearly, the first one to try it died. And so they're all like, "Ooh, that's a good plan. I'm going to try that too."
Okay, would you eat zebra?
I don't know. They look kind of tough. I've never had zebra. I've had kudu. I've had hemsbach. I've never had springbok, and I've never had zebra. Banana on pizza. Ew, Gareth. No, thank you. I don't like I don't like bananas anyway. They're just mushy and nasty. I don't like them.
See, you're weird, man. Bananas are nice on their own, but I won't have banana on a pizza. That's just wrong.
Mopani worms. Mopani worms. Yes, I have.
No, I haven't had mopani worms. I don't know. I don't like the idea of eating any kind of worm. To be honest, I get like this vision of worms just infesting in my stomach and laying eggs and stuff. I know it's a weird.
This is really taking a dark turn.
Oysters. Do you like oysters?
I'm not a fan of oysters, but I'm from the Chesapeake Bay, and so seafood is part of my innate DNA. And so I love steamed crabs. I'll eat clams. I'll eat oysters, but I'm not a big fan of oysters. They're kind of, well, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Red Lobster, is that still a thing in the States?
It is. It's still a big restaurant. It does quite well. I forget who owns them now. They've been sold a few times. Yeah, Red Lobster is decent for what it provides, and it's relatively reasonable price. So yeah, the problem I had with Red Lobsters is that they were not managed well for a number of years, and a lot of the restaurants, of course, you can imagine a seafood place, people spilling food on the floor, and you've got to replace the carpet periodically and spruce the place up. A lot of them had run down, but I think they're getting better management now at the corporate level, and they're dealing with that. But Red Lobsters, when it comes to seafood, it's a chain seafood restaurant, so it's not bad. But of course, coming from Maryland, that would be sacrilege to say to people. So, what kind of fetish is these? Where do I cancel my 9-member? You can't, Sean. You're stuck, man. Don't you know? It's like a porn site. Once you sign up, you can never unsign up.
Yeah, like this is okay. So you like I can't believe you like pineapple on your pizza, man. I thought you were that decent kind of guy.
Okay, what is with the Free State oysters? We're still talking about Free State oysters. These guys are going on about that.
Oysters, I like oysters. I've eaten oysters with champagne. I like caviar. I like sushi. I'm not a fan of what's that? I'm not a fan of seafood on pizza. That I won't do.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo was talking about he liked maybe I misunderstood what he, or maybe he didn't say that. What I heard was what's the little fish, the tiny ones on
sardines.
Yeah, sardines. Oh God, no.
No.
So this is cute. I just learned something. So Blues Pixie, which I didn't know Blues Pixie was here. Good to see you. I've honestly never used a little yellow monkey as a means of communication. So I guess a little yellow monkey is an emoji. Little yellow man. Okay, that's cute. I like that.
Prawns.
Oh, prawns are awesome, man. I was in Mozambique in Maputo. The prawns were like this big. They were so good.
Sean says you're clearly a cultured type of guy. I don't know if that's sarcasm. I like my wines. I like my red wine. I love my red wine, actually. I'm not a white wine. I don't know why when someone says, "Oh, you're cultured," I immediately think of wine. I don't know why.
Yeah, and also it's like people are always talking about like French. They love French because it's such a cultured language. I'm like, seriously? I mean, I speak French. Actually, to me, the language is much more interesting from my standpoint, and it's much more cultured, is Italian. Italians, man, they could tell you they're going to execute you at noon. Oh, it's so beautiful just listening to them speak Italian. People say that about French. I'm like, no. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, Gareth says pop suck cultured. You know what pop suck is, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Handy Dutchman says, pufferfish, how many people were killed to find the limb before killing? Exactly right. Now, there's lots of food like that. You're wondering, let's say coffee. What genius decided that coffee was a good idea unless they watch goats dancing around? Now, the Ethiopians have this famous mythology about coffee, and that a little goat herder saw his goats eating them, and they were all full of pep and energy and bouncing around. He's like, so he started chewing on them. But if you've ever tasted a coffee bean, it's vile, absolutely vile.
Yeah, it is. It's.
No, seriously, they're very bitter, horrible tasting. Okay, yeah. Joe. So I'm gonna burst your little bubble about your nonsense about my beer in just a second. I'm waiting for it to come up on the screen. It's gonna come up here in a second. But Shelley Ashurst has become a member, and this is after all the dissing of my beer. She's been here for the whole conversation. So
she hasn't been here for the whole conversation. I testify against that. There's no way.
So are you calling BS?
Yes, I think she just came in like 5 minutes ago, and she likes the fact that you like pineapple on pizza. So I think you guys are a good mix. She's a pineapple on pizza advocate, and I mean, fine, but yeah.
Hey, Sean, listen, you're not really helping here, man. You're causing all kinds of mischief now with you're threatening to leave the site as a member, and now you're picking on Shelley. We don't need that kind of bullying on this site, okay? I'm just letting you know. You keep the bullying up, and I'm going to get another Schuss beer. My refrigerator is full of
guys, come on. We can't let that happen. Oh, no, she said it was the Coke and the beer No! Shelley! No, Shelley.
That's my kind
Say
of.
It isn't true.
That's my kind of subscriber. Thank you, Shelley.
You see, she likes pineapple with her pizza. I'm telling you,
I'm going to have to give her a tip of the cap out of respect for her fine taste in beer connoisseuring. I don't know that that's a verb. I think I just made a verb. Connoisseuring.
No. Shelley, come on, man. Say it isn't true. Just say you're just trying to make Chris feel better and you have a big crush on him.
Gareth is saying roasted coffee beans are delicious. Well, I'll take your word for it, Gareth. I don't like coffee. It's an evil substance invented by Satan to enslave mankind. Speaking of which,
wow,
I will have my own coffee brand, by the way. That's a little bit of news. Since you guys are hanging around after midnight, I'll break the news to you. Yes, I've joined the crowd. Even though I don't enjoy the evil weed, I will be selling it.
What?
Yes, that's correct.
Did I just hear you correctly that you're going to be selling weed?
Coffee is an evil weed.
Oh, okay. I thought I misheard that.
I'm getting called out on coffee hypocrisy now. Dude, I'm going to wake up and my subscriber count's going to be like 50% less in the morning. This is really frightening.
Sean says that the standards in this channel have dropped 30%.
All right, Sean, you know that this is a channel based on facts. Please give me your citation. Show me your evidence.
Exactly. Now he's dissing coffee. I'm declaring war on America. Wow. That's a
Well,
this is a kernel you're talking about here, buddy.
We're truly frightened by that prospect.
Here's a question: if tomorrow war was declared on America? Cyril said we came out and we said we're declaring war on South Africa. What would be your first reaction?
I would think that Comedy Central has taken over my television stations, and that there must be some, or it's April Fool's Day or something like that. Come on, that's not serious. Come
on. Wait. Keith now says, Joe, you'll be telling us no pineapple on gammon next. You see, okay.
Hey,
I'm not a pineapple.
What about arugula?
I'm not a pineapple guy. Arugula.
Yeah,
if it's mixed with something.
No, arugula on pizza. Excuse me, arugula on pizza.
Not a big fan. I'll eat it, but I'm not a big fan. But pineapple on gammon, okay, that's like the one exception because I love gammon. Gammon is like the best. I'm a huge fan of like anything that comes like from pork, or pig. So like bacon. I mean, everything's good with bacon.
You're going to have to translate that into, not everybody in the stream is in South Africa, although I wonder at this hour, it might just be South Africa, but gammon is not a word that people outside South Africa know. What is that? It's ham, right?
Yeah, it's Christmas ham, I think.
It's Canadian bacon.
Is it?
I think it is. By the way, we're back to the people are trying to have fun with the language here now, because Joe and I were famously arguing over Afrikaans, neither of which are native speakers. But Martin wants me to say Baki.
Bucky.
Okay, but his name isn't Bucky Botha. His nickname is Baki Botha.
Bucky?
Baki's Botha.
Bucky. Ons gaan nou braai. Bucky.
Yeah. Okay. Baki. Yeah, okay. Just Goes figured out. He said, I got it. Joe had some bad pineapple beer. That's what his issue is.
I've never liked pineapple. I've never liked it.
Oh, Andy Dutchman's calling me out for hypocrisy, too. It's hypocritical. If you don't partake, you can't sell. Listen, I don't eat automobiles, but I'm happy to sell them.
You know that's not a fair comparison. Nobody eats cars, Chris.
Transformers do.
Transformers don't exist.
Yeah, they do, man. Didn't you see the movies?
No, they don't exist, Chris. Again, you're living in a fictional world if you think Transformers exist. Wait a second, you're a colonel. Did you just admit that aliens exist?
What was in my Shakespeare? Oh, Malcolm's misspelling words with the English, confused by the French. He spells tire as tire, like in a city in Accra, in Palestine. Anyway, so... All right. Ask this guy to spell a car wheel. Oh, that's where it came from. Okay.
Oh, man. Dodgy Coke. Yep, that's exactly what it is.
No, but I wasn't joking there, Joe. I'm likely to be offering my own coffee brand here sometime soon in South Africa.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's nice.
Well, people are asking for it, and also someone offered to partner with me on it, so I'm going to keep that a secret for now. But one of the benefits of membership might be, no promises, might be that you get a sachet of the coffee as part of a membership level that comes to you free of charge, so you can try it out. So that's just something we're looking at.
As soon as I get to membership status, I'm going to offer merchandise like Ronaldo. So I'll offer like hats and stuff or shirts. I'll see what people.
Seeing as how I gave you half my members tonight, I want a cut of that.
Okay, is this the American imperialism coming in now, where you just feel like you can just have a share in everything and anything?
Well, yeah, that's why we created the Bretton Woods system, so we can control the world's currency, and we could dictate to Africans to make them live in poverty into perpetuity, and we could exploit them. Don't you know? Ronaldo's told everybody I went to Africa to look for oil.
You must have been so disappointed. Cyril stole it all already.
Well, I didn't find any oil. I did find platinum in Northwest, but I didn't find any oil.
Yeah, someone's correcting me. Shelley's saying no, it's White Monopoly Capital.
So that always confused me because I have the South African version of Monopoly, and it doesn't say White Monopoly Capital anywhere on any of the destinations. It has Park Avenue, but it doesn't say White Monopoly Capital, so I'm confused. I actually do have a South African version of Monopoly.
Really?
Yeah, it's a shame it's not a comical version, which, you could just pass go or collect 2 million rand,
That's a good one. Or that I think those things that you play with, like there's a dog, there's a car, there's a thing, you could maybe have like the Zuma Cyril.
No, you would have a shower head.
A shower head, yeah, a shower head. You would representing Cyril would be maybe a gun.
A hippo. A hippo.
A hippo.
Or a squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. That's a good one. Yeah, man. That would actually be quite.
Oh, Gareth just had a really good one here. He said, "If you voted ANC, get out of jail free." Did you hear me?
Yeah, exactly. And a taxi, yes, there would be a taxi, that's for sure.
And then you would also have a spot where everybody got into a combi, 20 people pile on a combi, so you have to go back to zero. I lost Joe. All right, folks, Joe dropped off. I'll try calling him back in just a second. Maybe we'll all drop off here, but he disappeared on me there. All right. It looks like we lost Joe. I don't know if he lost his network. Oh, Joe's on cell C. That's funny. Okay, why is it not picking up? It's not picking up. Sorry, guys. I can't seem to get my Skype to come up. It's ringing, but it's not coming up. Try again. That's really weird. Strange. Okay, now I'm ringing Joe. You there?
Yeah, sorry. My internet's Wi-Fi seems to be down. I'm trying to fix it.
Okay. I thought maybe you were on cell C.
No. My Wi-Fi is down. I need to fix it.
Okay, so we don't have your camera right now. We just got your voice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? It's probably a good time to call it quits, even though we still got quite an audience here. Do you think you get your camera back or no?
Well, I just need to reset my Wi-Fi, so give me like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? I don't know if I can wait that long, man. We got 43 people here waiting, Joe. What is this? Amateur hour? Is this how you run your comedy shows? No wonder everybody gets.
Don't blame me.
Oh, you're gonna blame Escom? No.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that works. That's usually a perfectly good example. Blame Escom.
Exactly.
Let me see. Cyril's ambulances. That would be good. Okay. Free minutes are finished. Yeah, free minutes are Red Hands got Joe. Yeah, of course, people know famously that was my excuse early on because I was having lots of trouble with my network connection when I first started live streaming. That was the Red Ants. William Vanderwalt says, the NC says they're for free market. Joe disappeared. That's magic. Yeah, Joe, you finally did a magic trick. You made yourself disappear. Well, Malcolm has really got it out. Tony Stark's cousin, Malcolm Stark, really has it out for Ronaldo. He keeps mentioning that Ronaldo's far left.
Yeah, Ronaldo is far left. Didn't you know?
No, he's not.
Didn't you know that he's like an undercover agent?
He is left, but he's not very far left. I know watching his old videos, probably further to the left. Yeah, Tony Stark. That's right. Thanks, Hank. Yeah. It's funny because those things when I was a kid, it wasn't a big deal. People weren't really into them, but now everybody's into comics and Marvel and DC Comics and all that stuff, and they make all these movies. Sean is far left, too far. Okay. Pompous Ronaldo. Oh, people are beating on Ronaldo now. Okay. Joe, you've cost me 3 viewers, man. Quit dorking around with your channel. Get your act together.
I'm trying to get the internet back online.
Yeah, I've had to take a wicked whiz for a long time here. Okay. I can't go unless you come back on. So.
All right, here we go. All right, okay. I'm gonna call you.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up then.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we may have Joe Emilio back in just a minute. Here we go. There we go. Oh, I got two versions of Skype up. What's going on there? There we go. All right, let me get you back on the screen. Okay, Joe. Oh, why is it not coming back? Hang on. It's just. Okay. No, you just got the Skype thing. Your Skype is not showing your picture. Why is that? That's odd. Joe is vaping right now. I don't know why. Try this again. Nope, it's not changing. It's only showing me. That's weird. I hate that when Skype does that. Sometimes it does that. What I'm going to do is, Joe, I'm going to delete this NDI source and bring you back in under a different one. So I'll still keep talking to folks. Hang in there. I think that the software just got confused because Joe was vaping and it confused it. So we'll fix that in just a second here. All right. Oh, we actually gained somebody. They must be enjoying this nonsense.
Can people hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if they can hear. I don't think they can hear you, Joe. I think they just hear me talking to myself. But I just tried. Yeah, they probably think I'm senile, but I mean that's possible. You never know. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Add a source. It's not showing me the source, which is weird. Okay, add a source. No, it's not letting you come in. I can't even get you back in here. Let me hang up and call you back. Okay, Joe. Here we go. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. Trying to get Joe Emilio back. Once again, Joe's off the screen, and now I'm gaining people watching. That's just odd. Let me reopen Skype and try to get Joe back, and then I'll add him again. And if I can get him on here, we'll stay for a bit longer. There's Joe. Okay. Okay. All right, so I got Joe up. Now let me try to get him back into the stream so I can go take a break. Since Joe is claiming to get all my subscribers joining tonight in the Super Chats earlier, let's make him earn his keep. All right. Okay, good. We got him again.
Yay.
Well, I got you, but the picture's not up. Oh, there's the picture. Yay. Oh, my God. You're like larger than life, man. You're like freaking, you're like Nelson Mandela at Sand City at the mall, man. You're like huge. Okay, there you are, Joe. All right, I'm going to go take a Wiki Whiz. I'll be right back. Joe, you've got the show. Keep them busy. Keep them entertained. We actually gained people while you were gone. Maybe we should make you go away again. That was like a magic trick. We did, man. We gained 4 more people watching the show. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Let me see. Chris, do you know anything about the helium gas deposit that was discovered in the Free State a couple of years ago? I know a lot about that. What they've done is they've taken the helium gas and they've given it to all the birthday parties that happened and have been happening in South Africa. It's done a lot for people in South Africa who love helium, and it's actually sparked a helium spike in people being addicted to helium and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people walking around right now with like very high pitched voices, like like. So that's a real problem that's happening right now. Magic trick again, Joe. I don't know magic, man. I mean, I've just been trying to do the basics, what, and even that was a terrible fan. But yeah, I've just been learning how to shuffle and doing that kind of stuff. Good news for you, Joe. Yeah. What else can I tell you guys? The helium thing. Let me see if there's any other questions. I'm going to greet. I want to go see what's going on in the news. Nice chat tonight. Thanks, Chris. Cheers, man. Bite your ankles, which is a very interesting name, by the way. Bite your ankles. And yeah, thank you so much for being around, man. Thank you for salam alaikum. Yes, I know those terminologies. Joe or Joey, either one. Joe. Helium is for Karens. Yeah, exactly. They sound like this. There's a huge Karen problem at the moment. Bite is a she, Joe. I didn't know. That's a very unisex kind of name. Sorry, Bite your ankles. Nice to know that you are a woman. Welcome. And I'm glad that you identify as that. You mentioned Talkie. Do you know his motto? Believe it because it's true. Yeah. Believe it because it's true. Sunny extremely late. Yeah. And Chris is now back, and I think he's just admiring the fact that I'm talking cock with you guys. Oh no, he's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again. No, guys, avert your eyes from the crime.
From the crime. What did I miss? What did I miss? Okay, so what did you do to my
People
show,
are
Joe?
begging you not to do it. People are like literally begging, please don't. No. I can't cancel my membership now. And that was Shelly.
She just joined. You're stuck for 30
see.
days. You're stuck. Malcolm says, I identify as a cigarette. Should I be banned? Yes, you should.
Please, Chris, don't do it, man. We had to now sit here for the better half of 2 hours and watch you sip gingerly with that abomination. And now you're going to make another abomination. Please.
Bite your ankles left to go watch the news. This started out so well. I was talking about the news, and then Joe came on, and it all went downhill. Here we are a few hours later. Anyway. Pete says 3 times you're out. Well, that means I've got 1 more beer to go.
No.
Oh, hey, Sonny ZA. I haven't seen Sonny ZA in a long time. Welcome.
Chris will cause the alcohol ban returning.
No, I think the person responsible for that is named Beckett Sele. It's not me, Beckett Sele. Anyway, let's see what else. Okay, helium for Karens. Yeah, that's funny. Please don't. 3 times you're out, Zal. Okay, I'm listening just quiet as usual. Oh, okay. No, that's cool, Sonny. It's nice to see you jump in the conversation now and then. Really appreciate it. Just mow the lawn. Weeded. Smoke the fatty. Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah. So here we're going on nearly 3.5 hours, Joe. Yeah, exactly. Hey, but that doesn't even. I've had a 3 hour and 40-minute stream. I've had a 4 hour and 20-minute stream when Giselle was on here. It's just crazy. Sometimes, maybe it would turn into the Friday Follies. Just every Friday, just bring someone on, chat, and have a schuss beer for everybody's mutual enjoyment there. So
You're the only one enjoying it, Chris. You're the only one. Oh man.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. So it looks like with schuss beer, I can't win in Africa. It's like the other thing. I tell Americans, if you ever want to make sure that you lose a discussion or lose interest, all you have to do is go anywhere in Africa and promote homosexuality, and that's it. Everywhere in Africa, people will just disappear. It's a one argument if you come out in favor of, you'll never win in any argument. Right or wrong, the bottom line is if you start promoting homosexuality anywhere in Africa, you lose. And we couldn't seem to figure that out diplomatically with Yoweri Museveni and Uganda when I was there. It was a real mess. Obama and Museveni arguing about homosexuality. It was just the most surreal thing I ever saw in my life. Knowing that with openly making the issue, and yes, I see you blowing those smoke vapor there, going there. But anyway, yeah. Africa, that sounds too far away. Africa, yeah, it's a big country. I heard it's a really big country. The Friday diehards. Yeah, maybe that. Pour your drink. It's your show. Oh, Hank. Thank you, Hank.
Adrians. Hank, no. Hank we need to stand up against this, man. It's like the cigarette ban. We have to. It's an abomination.
Sean said Kopi Luwak is the most expensive coffee. Asian palm civets eat the yeah, and then this comes from their feces. I know. Ugh, gross. Yeah, ugh.
Like your beer.
No, bloody continent. Yeah, but Africa's a lot of fun. It's got problems, it's got its challenges, but it's amazing. It's like South Africa. It's just a really amazing place. It's a shame that politicians have to screw it up. They screwed it up for a long time, and now they're screwing it up again. It's just really a shame. Just let people live in peace. Let them get along. Can't we all just hug? Anyway. Yikes. Nice. We can all hug with a schuss beer. That would be perfect.
No. Stop the schuss beer. Stop campaigning for a schuss beer. Stop it. It's not going to work. Next thing I know, you're going to be trying to offer to bars all over Africa. It's just not going to work.
Africa is knee for Susie's knee. Okay. That's good. Usename. I haven't seen Usename there in a while. Listen, Usename, not to pick on you, but that's the least creative handle on YouTube. Have you been on with Big Daddy Liberty? No, Shelly, I have not. Listen, That's almost becoming a famous thing right now. It's not. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but from the outset of people finding out about my channel when I started doing prepared videos in February and then started doing live streams in March or April, I think it was. It was April. People have been coming out and saying, hey, you should be on with Big Daddy Liberty. Oh, Chris and Big Daddy Liberty would be amazing. We got to see these two guys together. And so because subscribers asked me to go, get on his channel or to have him on my channel, I went to his website. I checked out his videos. I subscribed to it. And then he has an email. I revealed his email, and I sent him an email. And people came back a few days later, hey, how come Big Daddy Liberty? When are you going to do it? I said, well, I sent him an email. So I waited a week. I sent a second email. Anyway, I've sent 5 emails, and I never got a response. And then I got his phone number from Unati Kwaza, who gave it to me, and because they know each other from the Institute of Race Relations, plus she's helped him out a bit, and vice versa, I think. Anyway, so I sent him a WhatsApp, and I got no response. So I told Unati, and then apparently she talked to him, and then I got a response. So she's got a lot of power. So Big Daddy Liberty reached out to me, and we've been exchanging emails. And I suspect that sometime soon he'll come on my channel, and I'll go on his channel. Oh, Joe's trying to do magic tricks again. Yeah, so Big Daddy Liberty hopefully will be a guest on this channel. But in the meantime, I'll have Roman Cabanak tomorrow on the channel. And then next week on Friday, Scott Balson from Loving Life in Australia will be on my channel. I'll be on his channel this Sunday, and then he'll be on my channel the coming Friday. And also Major General Just will be on my channel, who's a former SADF and SANDF officer, an infantry officer, and also famously works with has worked with the South African Park System. So he'll be on my channel as well coming up in the next week. So it should be interesting. Shelly says he's on the road a lot helping. Yeah, he is. He's doing a lot of good stuff. And people thought like it was a diss thing. I never took it that way. I just figured the guy's really busy. So anyway, but we've been in touch. Did you guys have a talk about EFF and Julius going to jail?
He's not going to jail.
He's not going to jail. And neither is Hillary Clinton, and neither is Jacob Zuma. Just you have to face up to that, folks. Ban the bloody Coke. Hey, easy. It's the real thing, Coca-Cola. What are you doing over there, man? Are you like brewing something? I hear a popping sound on your side. What's that noise?
Oh, sorry. That's fidgeting. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was just curious what it was. Okay. Gareth says, drink beer and Coke, man. Don't let the commies do it. Yeah, exactly right, man. It's a free world, right? At least for now.
Gareth, no, don't go to the dark side. Literally, don't go to the dark side.
Sean says, imagine the Loving Life people finding out about this Coke beer. That would be something. Anyway,
I think if you did a live stream, right? Every time you did a live stream, you had this this beer and Coke thing. I think you'd become one of the most famous people in South Africa.
Well, here's the thing, man. I've been reticent to drink on camera, not because I'm a teetotaler. I'm not a fan of Beckett Selle and also Ian Kama for that matter. He doesn't like alcohol either. I'm a fan of Ian Kama, but not when his alcohol stands. But I just I don't know. But it's Friday night, Joe was really boring, so I was trying to jazz up the show. So anyway, no, no, it's Friday night. People relaxing. Kids aren't watching the channel right now, so I figured, what the heck? So let me try it. And after watching Jerm pretty much be pissed at every one of his programs, I figured, why not? I'll give it a shot. So anyway. Shelly sounds like a super lineup. Well, Shelly, also, please, if you haven't been around long, check out my previous streams. I've had some really interesting people on the show. Let me just go find some of the past streams so that I can just run through who some of those people were. Joe, tell us something while I look this up.
Oh, wow. Okay,
spot,
so...
man. Well, you're the one saying you're driving all the channels, so come on, drive it.
What? No, I'm not. Okay, so... What's his name? Garrett says better dead than red. I agree with that. I've watched a lot of your stuff. The one with Unati was great. Speaking about Unati, she's actually going to be on my channel as well.
Awesome.
She's going to be joining me in 2 weeks on my channel. So it's still a bit of time. But speaking of my channel, you guys can go subscribe. I've got a chat with Ronaldo Haas tomorrow evening. And on Monday, I'll be chatting to a guy from the Federal Party. Going to be on my channel, and next week I got some comedians coming up and some other things. Oh yeah, I'm going to be chatting to Mikhail Kanaka, who's a local comedian. He's also very Afrikaans, and we're going to be talking about the Afrikaans culture as well. So I'm very interested. He's a weird Afrikaans though. And I don't mean any offense here, but it's just interesting to me that he is a Jewish Afrikaner.
Okay, that's Afrikaans. Being an Afrikaner is a mindset. If you want, people in Oranje accept people who are colored and accept Afrikaans culture. So, but yeah, let me. That sounds interesting, Joe. But so here's some of my past live streams, just so that Shelly knows about it and others you don't know. So I do a weekly scheduled live stream every Saturday in which I have a guest. Tomorrow it's Roman. And that's usually on a topic of interest. And in the past, I'll tell you about this. So those are the Saturday live streams. That's something I do regularly. I also done live stream specials for an event or just because I was trying out the stream to talk about an interesting topic. And then the other thing I do is I do what I call special features, and that's with a guest. So let me just run through some of these very quickly. So my live stream specials have included Virus, the Unseen Horror for Mankind. I did that on the 17th of April. You can find it under my past live streams, all of these under my past live streams, and which I talked about my interest in epidemiology and viruses, and that was because, of course, COVID-19. So I talked about Lassa fever, Ebola, HIV, Legionnaire's disease. So that was on the 17th of April. I did a special on the 19th of April on Zimbabwe, 40 years of independence, in which I lambasted the ZANU-PF party. And then on the 27th of April, to celebrate Freedom Day in South Africa, I did a live stream on that. On the 8th of May, I did the album debut for Für uns Mensa from Giselle. That was a live lockdown concert debut on the 8th of May. On the 25th of May, to celebrate Memorial Day here in the U.S., I did that stream, which wasn't nearly as popular in South Africa, but had a lot of people in the U.S. tune in. On the 30th of May, after the abortive attempt on the 27th when I did a stream, the actual launch of the NASA SpaceX Falcon 9 Crew Dragon Demo 2 launch. That was awesome, guys. If you want to see me blubber like a little girl or a little boy, turn it on that stream because I was in tears. I was so proud of
it was
NASA
nice.
SpaceX.
It was nice.
It was really cool. And by the way, I got a copyright claim after the fact because National Geographic claimed that I used their content, which was nonsense, and I disputed it and I won. Apparently, it happened to a lot of people. And so that we're streaming it. So go back and watch it. It's pretty cool. Then my Saturday live streams, these have been the ones I've done. Security sector reform in Liberia because I was responsible for the rebuilding of the armed force of Liberia. And my guest was Jeff Rodriguez, who was the program manager for DynCorp, who worked for me. That was the 11th of April. Unfortunately, the Red Ants interrupted the stream, so that's in 2 versions. So you got to watch the second one to get most of it. Then on the 2nd of May, I did a live stream with farming in Ghana with Evans Larrabee. He's a small-scale commercial farmer dealing with land tenure issues in Ghana, among other things. On the 9th of May, I did national security issues in Nigeria with Ovigwe Egu, who's a Nigerian analyst, Nigerian. And then on the 16th of May, I had a urban shepherd who was supposed to come on my show that I know from LinkedIn and from the Netherlands. She backed out on me last minute. And I had this strange thing I called live stream weekend wildcard. And Joe Emilio kindly filled in as my guest that day. That was kind of fun. On the 23rd of May, tobacco farming in South Africa with Herman Roos, which was really good. On the 30th of May, debt in Africa, the real story with Komi Klu, a Ghanaian American, and we talked about debt in Africa. And then on the 6th of June, the epic 4-hour and 20-minute live stream with Giselle, the interview with her and Johan Eisel, her manager and spouse, which was fun. And the world debut of El Jose, their daughter, who was fantastic on the show. We got Giselle to actually do some a cappella songs, which was really cool if you hung around for the 3rd and 4th hour. And on the 13th of June, I had the conscious caracal Ernst van Zyl on my channel, and it was a fantastic discussion about contemporary South Africa. And then in addition to that, when I can get someone that's of interest to others that is just during the week or something like that, I'll bring them on. I had this is the first Friday I haven't had a special feature in a while, but I guess Joe makes it a special feature. But my special feature live streams have included Willem Petza on the 22nd of May, Ronaldo Gos on the 29th of May, Colin Robinson, a New Zealand security specialist and PhD, whom I'm affiliated with, and we're co-authors on an article. He was on the 5th of June. Then Renee Kruger, those of you who don't know her, she's a Boermeisje. She's a fantastic young lady who has a great outlook on life and is a very staunch defender of Afrikaans culture and Afrikaner culture in particular. So Renee Kruger is on the 8th of June. And then on the 12th of June, I had Toyin Usemari, who is a Nigerian American. We talk about trade and investment in Africa. The 14th of June, Phil Craig from the Cape Independence Advocacy Group, talking about independence or secession for the Western Cape. And then on the 15th of June, I had Unati Kwaza from, something just happened. Did somebody subscriber join? Justico's just donated 35 Rand through the Super Chat and said, what will happen if Republicans do a Democratic president the same as I have to go back and read that. I think Just a Ghost has been drinking schuss beer because his chat doesn't his super chat doesn't make any sense. I'm going to have to interpret that. But yeah, so listen, Shelly, if you're still there, that's some of my past live streams. And for those who don't realize, I've done a lot of live streams now. But those are so the special features when I have someone. So Major General Just will be a special feature most likely. Roman. While he's a special guy to come on, he's just part of my regular Saturday show. But those are the three types of streams I do: topic or event related, the Saturday live stream, and then the special features. So that's just some of the ones that are available. So I hope folks get to check those out. But that was for Shelly because I don't know if Shelly knew about them. Okay, so now let me try to translate what Just a Ghost sent for a super chat because I might need another schuss beer to understand this. He says, "What will happen if Republicans do a Democratic president the same as they do to President Trump?" I don't understand, Just because. Can you translate that for me without another super chat? I don't want your super chat to go to waste. I'm confused. I really need another beer. Hank says that Petzer was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. By the way, I went on Willem Petzer's channel first, and then he came on my channel. And interesting, on his channel, I was called a CIA stooge. I was called a false flag operative, and now a small number of people. Most people were very complimentary. Did I just call Joe special? Look, Joe's still on the channel. I was trying to make him feel nice. So anyway, don't get
I was.
What's that?
I was nodding in approval.
Oh yeah, Tian was asking if this goes 4 hours as Joe's singing. No, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
Yikes.
Oh,
okay. So stop talking shop. We need some sake background music. Set the mood. Yeah, I don't want a copyright strike. that would be disastrous. So anyway, will they do? No. Okay, if Just a Ghost's question, will people do? Will the Republicans behave in the same fashion in Congress as the Democrats do to Trump? Yes and no. They'll never take it to the degree, and they never, even with Obama, they never took it to the degree. Listen, okay, so here, let me tell you a story here, folks. This one's I think is interesting. It's important. So President Obama comes into office, right, and he and the Democrats talk about making health care mandatory. So they come up with the Affordable Care Act, or as I call it, the Unaffordable Care Act. And for 15 months, Barack Obama blamed the Republicans. He said, we can't pass this legislation because the Republicans are holding it up. We can't bring it to the floor for a vote. But the problem with that is that in the House, they had a majority. They could have brought this to a vote the day that he was inaugurated, and all the other members of Congress were inaugurated, because you get sworn in, they could have in February introduced the Affordable Care Act and made it the law of the land. Because they controlled the House and they had a filibuster-proof Senate with over 60 Democrats in the Senate. But they didn't do that. Now, why is that? So for 15 months, the Democrats attacked the Republicans, blaming them that we weren't getting health care. It's their fault. It's their fault. And the media went along with them. The Republicans are holding this up. They won't allow a vote. That's nonsense. The parliamentary rules were met for the House and for the Senate. What wasn't done is that they couldn't bribe enough Democratic senators and congressmen to vote for this bill. They only did that by throwing pork into the Affordable Care Act and giving them things that go back to their voters and go, see, look what I did for you. So for 15 months, Barack Obama chastised and attacked Republicans when they had nothing to do with it. They could have called a vote at any moment, Now, will the Republicans do that to the Democrats? No, they won't, because many Republicans are just cowards. They're just cowards. They're callow, and they're useless. And they are Republicans in name only. They're not true conservatives. And that's the reality we have. So we have lots of people on the left and the Democratic Party that is held in discipline by the House. Nancy Pelosi, she does a pretty good job, with the exception of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib and a few folks like that. She keeps the Democrats in line. And in the Senate, the same thing happens. But the Republicans, no, they're not kept in line by their party. They vote their conscience, and more likely they vote where they think they'll get votes, which is kind of sad in some respects. So I don't think the same thing's going to happen. And history will show us that it hasn't happened in the past. When a Democrat has been president, we've not seen the Republicans en masse act like petulant children. We see the Democrats do it on a daily basis. So I don't think the Republicans will do it. All right, so, boy, Sean. Okay, so Shelley. Okay, I got all cut. Now it's members just responding. So Sean, Shelley, I'm getting confused. Everything's green. Jessica says lots of whiskey. Shelley's still there. Have some catching up to do. Yeah, some of those I think you should find very. Now, Shelley, to be fair, be careful. Some of my streams are longer because the audience wants us to go longer. I try to keep the special features to 90 minutes or less, and I think I've done pretty good on that with the exception of Phil Craig's, because the secession issue really had people curious and we went longer, went for 2 hours. But some of the other ones will go longer. So just, watch what you like. You don't have to watch it all, but thank you for watching. Jessica says, yes, that's it. They're talking amongst each other. What will the Republicans do to a Democratic president? No, they won't do the same thing to a Democrat because the media won't let them. The media is dishonest. If the media held Democrats to the same standard they held Republicans, then it would be an opportunity for Republicans to do the same thing. Pelosi's taking down the porches, all Confederate politicians. Yeah. What's disturbing about that, Shelley, is that she's taking down the portraits. They're taking the portraits of the former speakers of the House. Those are spots reserved for the Speaker's House because they wish to judge those former Speakers of the House by the standards of today. They feel it's appropriate to take their pictures down. I'll tell you what, when Nancy Pelosi is dead and buried, and in 25 years when people look back on her and say she was reprobate, will it be okay for us to dig her up and obliterate her grave and take down her photograph and her portrait in the White House, in the House of Representatives because it's a new standard 20 days from now? That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Chris?
Yes.
Hello?
I'm here.
I'm going to have to love and leave you. It's getting late. I'm getting tired.
I think Sean just made the point that politic talk is making Joe fall asleep. So I think we're going to call it quits. Okay, but we're not just going to leave at that. I'm going to thank Joe. I'm going to take you off the screen. Hang up on you, Joe, and not because I want you to go away, because I'm just going to do some closing comments just to make sure everybody's straight on what's coming up and no confusion. And then, of course, I'm going to play Plekken du Sonne as the way.
Don't end it on my behalf. Like, if your viewers want you to go ahead and chat some more, by all means, go. I gotta get some shut eye. It's been an exciting and stressful day, as you know.
Yeah, no, so I think Malcolm Stark said democracy is 50.1%, telling 49%. Yeah, see, that's democracy, but that's also what I call tyranny of the majority. That's why we have a federal system in the states that gives primacy to states, not to the general population in the Senate and with the Electoral College. That way you avoid tyranny of the majority. The majority, which is what you have in South Africa now, tyranny of the majority. And I'm not talking about a black majority. I'm talking about the ANC majority. That's what I'm talking about. There are white people in South Africa who vote ANC who are members of it. So anyway, all right, so yeah, 3 hours late. Okay, Matt. Oh, Matt just got in here. Okay, sorry about that, Matt. You're going to miss out. Good morning, says Matt. Okay, good morning to you. All right, Joe, I'm going to drop you off, and then I'm going to close off, not this second, but in a little ways down the road. Hey, folks, Can we get a little hand clap there, a little applause for Joe, who's been a good team player, except for his aversion to Schuss beer. He's been quite a wonderful participant in tonight's discussion. And his affinity for sushi, raw fish, dude, disease. Anyway.
It's
so Joe,
but,
Joe, you're getting go ahead and close out with your comments. You're getting applause there, so good.
Okay, good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Chris, for taking me or having me on your show and letting me chat a bit about what's currently going on. Don't forget, guys, to go watch the video. For those of you who've tuned in a little bit late, go watch the video, please. Retweet it, share it everywhere. Let's keep fighting the good fight, and I'll see you guys soon. Again, thanks, Chris. And for those of you who are waking up now, good morning. And for everybody else, good night. And I'll chat to you guys soon.
Joe, before you go, you can go off the screen. I'm going to drop you off. But go ahead and stick your link into that video and then also to your channel so we can get people to slide over in case anybody hasn't. All right, that's been Joe Emilio. Joe, I'm going to say goodbye. So, ciao.
Cheers.
All right. There we go. And Joe's off. All right, folks. Let me shut Joe off the screen there. Make myself a little bit bigger here since it is my channel. Anyway, well, listen, folks. This has been a fascinating time tonight. We still got a good audience here. Just let me run through some things very quickly. I did want to cover some news stuff again. So there's Joe's link, once again, to the video, and also to he's going to give you a link to his channel. Please go subscribe to Joe's channel. It's pretty good. The roast alone are worth just subscribing to it. So check it out. But let me just run through a couple things in the news very quickly before we wrap up here tonight, and then I'll make sure I promise you I'm going to get you Giselle's Plekken du Sonne. So let me get back over to. I don't want to end the night without talking about news because we've had a little bit of fun here tonight, but let me go ahead and get this very quickly. So, all right. So once again, yesterday there were 7 farm attacks within a 15-kilometer radius near Ondersport in north of Pretoria or Tshwane, the capital of South Africa. Very disturbing, very, very disturbing here. In this, one 18-year-old boy was shot in the neck in an attempted murder. I don't know his status. Hopefully he's okay. But this stuff is continuing unabated in South Africa. This nonsense, while the president of South Africa denies that there are farm attacks, there are attacks all over South Africa, and it's a shame to hear that stuff. Joe, you're welcome. Thank you very much for being with me tonight. It was a lot of fun. And I'll make sure that you have a good Schuss beer when I get to Cape Town, because you need to enjoy that. Also, I didn't really talk about this. I think I briefly mentioned it. Here in the United States, the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, handed a defeat to the Trump administration and handed defeat to Americans in justice when it decided that an executive order had to be justified for canceling it. That's nonsense. The president can cancel any. They're not laws. The Supreme Court's job is to check the actions of the president. Now, if the president enacts something that exceeds the Constitution, that's a responsibility. But rescinding DACA, which is guaranteeing the privilege for people who are illegal aliens to remain in this country because their parents brought them here illegally, this is what the court has decided. This is utter nonsense, and it is beyond the court's, in my personal view, I'm not an attorney, but it's beyond my personal view, that the court has the authority to do this to the administration. This basically makes an illegal executive order from Barack Obama, which granted people the right to stay in this country illegally in violation of our laws, it gives them the right into perpetuity, which is simply wrong. The Chief Justice said that the president must give a stronger justification. I disagree. And yet, once again, John Roberts has proven that he's not a true conservative, that he's not a true constitutionalist, and that his selection by George Bush was the wrong decision. And there you go. And so that's what's happening here in the United States. In Zimbabwe, I didn't mention the story about 10 days ago. Tendai Biti, the vice president of the Movement for Democratic Change, the opposition party, has been arrested along with other members of the opposition party for no justification whatsoever, detained for hours in a police station under the Cloud Cuckoo Land regime of ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe. And he writes a very brutal op-ed about the conduct of ZANU-PF and how they've turned the state into basically a criminal state. And so I will talk about this. You see his comments there, violent regime, his arrest, what happened, and how it brings tears to people's eyes who believe in justice and liberty. And Mugabe got away with years by hoodwinking the media, saying that it's about race in South Africa, in Zimbabwe. It's not about race. It's about totalitarianism and ZANU-PF, a government that violates the trust of its citizens on a daily basis. Ask the 4 million Zimbabweans living in exile who can't go home to their country because they're targets of political oppression. That's right, 4 million Zimbabweans, 2.5 million of them in South Africa, 1.5 million of them elsewhere, many of them in the UK. Yeah, Tendai Biti is a target for them. Also, very quickly, I'll also probably make a video about this, because on the 23rd of June, Malawi, the warm heart of Africa, will be having another round of presidential elections. The presidential elections last year were set aside by the Supreme Court because they found their irregularities took place. So President Mutharika, Peter Mutharika, the brother of a previous president, Bingu wa Mutharika, is now an octogenarian, and he is standing against the opposition and will likely lose this. So we'll see what happens. That's coming up in Malawi. And then I was asked about this several times. This is about China and India, the clash taking place there. And I'm talking about news. It's late. People are dropping off, so I'm going to wrap up with the news here in just a second. But anyway, China-India clash. The Chinese killed 20 Indian troops in fighting. And according to this news report, they were beating them with batons wrapped in barbed wire. Absolutely insane. 2 nuclear power countries, and this is what happens. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I put up earlier because it's a great interest to me. A German-themed restaurant, a beer hall located in the heart of Manhattan called Reichenbach Hall, is a German-themed restaurant which has wonderful food, great service, and a German theme to it. It's wonderful for Oktoberfest. It's also wonderful for German events and when the German national soccer team plays, because it's a sports bar. They've been forced to close by the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, or Wilhelm. He can't make up his name what his name is. His actual surname was Wilhelm, but he changed it to his mother's maiden name, de Blasio. But Mayor de Blowhard and his hysterical reaction to COVID-19 has forced restaurants to be closed. Reichenbach Hall is in jeopardy of going out of business as a consequence of government-sanctioned stopping of commerce. And so they're doing a GoFundMe. I'm not asking people in Africa to contribute to this. I'm just pointing out this is what's happening to businesses around the world, not simply in South Africa and in Botswana and Namibia, other places, although Namibia has lifted many of the restrictions, as has Botswana now. But Zimbabwe still remains in tight lockdowns. So this is what happens to people's businesses. A family-owned restaurant, fantastic place. If you've ever been to Manhattan, you ever go there, check it out. Reichenbach Hall. There's two German-themed restaurants. One is the Hofbrauhaus, which is affiliated loosely with the Hofbrauhaus in Germany, and then this one, the Reichenbach. This is the better of the two, Reichenbach Hall. You should check it out. Anyway, I really hate to see them go under. They've just started this GoFundMe account, and that was earlier. Let me see if they've got any other donations. Probably not, because people... Oh, no. Well, they got a little bit more. Another $10 somebody donated. So anyway, so Reichenbach Hall is doing a GoFundMe to try to save business. They're trying to raise $225,000. I will promote this fantastic restaurant on my channel and also on my Twitter feed, because it's really sad to see them go away. All right, so that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get off of that, and then I'm going to wrap up for the evening. I know that folks in Africa, it's a bit very late. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Sorry about that. Pushed the wrong button. Yeah, anyway, so thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for the memberships. Let me look and see. We got some new members tonight. I want to make sure that I don't miss people who became members. So let me point that out. I think correctly. Let me get back to it very quickly, because I want to recognize folks who did that. By the way, we're almost at 3,800 subscribers, members, excuse me. Tonight, we reached 40 members tonight. Wow, that's really cool. So of members, Shelley, thank you for joining. Lawrence Vorts, Armand van Sudam. And before the show started, Ronaldo Jos had become a member along with Ben Luis and Cristo Hoyer today, as well as Afribi. Thank you all so much for becoming members. And the other members have now taken us to 40 for the channel. Thank you so much for that. And as far as Super Chats tonight, Justigos gave a Super Chat of 35 Rand, another 14. Elizabeth with 30 Rand. Lawrence gave a super sticker of 21, which was really cool with the thumbs up earlier. Justigos 14, and well, Justigos was busy. And Cristo, 140. That was really cool. Thank you so much for that. And then Justigos gave another 35. But Justigos, man, you've been drinking that Schuss man. You've really done. I didn't realize how many you did. And then a fans only account. Anyone want to join? And I think that was all of the super chats tonight. That's very kind of you guys. Thank you so much for the super chats. They're very much appreciated. Supporting the channel. By the way, I went out. Let me actually bring this in, because I did this earlier. For those of you who are still here, you get a special treat. So this is what I bought earlier. Just so you can see it. I'll assemble it later on. This is when I was outside. I brought this back from Staples, which is an office supply store. I was going to buy this last year, but I couldn't get it in blue. I didn't want the red. Red is a communist color, so I didn't want red. I like the blue. That's more of a Star Trek color. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what I bought earlier this evening. That is my gaming chair. I have to assemble it. And this chair has been killing my back, and I don't want to be like a decrepit old retiree. So I got that gaming chair, so that's going to be cool. I'll set that up, and you should see me next time tomorrow with Roman on the channel in that chair, that gaming chair. Assuming I can put it together if I haven't got too crazy with the Schussbier here. But just having one, I think I'll be okay. So that's my chair. You'll see me in it tomorrow if things go well, and should be pretty cool. Anyway, back to the member goal. How do we do? Let's see if we get this up there. We got 38. That can't be right. That looks like it's out of date. It's 40. I know it's at least 40, so that thing is wrong. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Anyway, yeah, Shelly, it does look awesome. Yeah, it was. I could have got it on sale last year, but it was only in red for $30 cheaper. But you know what? My back is worth the money that I paid for that chair, so I will use it, and it will be good stuff. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Looks like the deck chair of the Star. Yeah, that's why I liked it, Sean. It reminds me of the Enterprise, one of the versions, or maybe on the Defiant. You know, the Defiant that was from Deep Space Nine. That was pretty cool. What's with the Republican colors? The Republicans use red. I never really cared for them having red. Shelly says an awesome show. Well, thank you, Shelly. Please go back and watch some of those other past live streams, especially the special features, and I think you'll really enjoy them. Maybe the Saturday. All right, so let me see. I'm going to wrap up here. For those who know, thanks for the Sack of Cock show. A good way to spend a lock of Friday. Yeah, no, it was maybe Friday nights we'll just do a longer stream here, you know, because what else is going on? I'm going to leave here with Giselle's Plekken de Zona. So I'll leave you guys with that, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It was really my distinct pleasure. Thanks, Joe, for coming in. Really enjoyed having you here, and I'm really glad you guys could tune in. So tomorrow, Roman, and then Sunday I'll be on Loving Life. I may do a live stream before that, but I'll be on Loving Life at 8 p.m. South Africa time and Botswana time at 2 p.m. East Coast U.S. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the new members. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the wonderful, pleasant chat and for playing along and also putting up with the schuss beer. I really enjoyed the beer, so I hope hope it didn't set you guys off too much. Okay, I'm going to take myself off. This will be Giselle Pleca Ndizona. I hope you enjoy this. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Have a good night and a good evening here in the east side of the U.S., and take care of yourselves.